The views expressed by guests are their own, and their appearance on the program does not imply an endorsement of them or any entity they represent. Views and opinions expressed by Hotep Jesus are those of Hotep Jesus's and do not necessarily reflect the views of the Hotep Nation or any of its officials. If you have any questions about this disclaimer, please contact our Office of General Counsel via the sheet of the town. And Hotep and them.
Envision a sanctuary where community and sustainability are the cornerstones of living. In this haven, every family is able to grow their own food, children flourish through homeschooling tailored to unlock their full potential, and education extends beyond textbooks, instilling self-worth and a deep understanding of the world around them. Here, goodwill isn't just an ideal, it's the essence of daily life, where respect for law and order harmonizes with the community's resourcefulness. This place isn't just a dream, it's a call to action for everyone who believes in a better, more connected way of living. Join us in building a future where each individual's contributions create a tapestry of enduring harmony and prosperity. Join us in Hotepistan.
It is, I'm under the impression that everyone is dealing with some sort of mental disorder, some sort of mental chaos. Things are not all in a equanimous state in their mind. And some people are diagnosed with many different mental disorders. Many of them stem from anxiety and depression. And what I've noticed, many people come to me, I don't know why it is, but people come to me to talk about things, to get things off their chest. So apparently a therapist of some sort. And I found a commonality. And the common question I ask people now is, when was the last time you created something? And usually the depression has set in right at the moment where they stop taking on or working on whatever project it is. If we look at grandma, for example, you see grandma's happy. Every time you come over, grandma's knitting a quilt or something like that. And you're like, why is grandma living to 100 years old? Well, she's practicing her God faculty. If we were to try to succinctly describe what God is, maybe we can say God is a creator. And if ye are gods, as the Bible states, and we are many versions of God and his creations, then we are meant to create. So any human being that is not creating is not living up to their God potential. And that is going to create some sort of mental disorder in your mind. And you're not going to know why. But it's because
Beyonce done did it again, done broke the internet. What? I think she got the call. The Grift Report starts right now.
2, 1, boom. Hotep Jesus.
Of all the Jesuses I know, he's the Hotepiest. Social scientist and YouTube host, Hotep Jesus.
How the fuck do you get a name like Hotep Jesus?
The one and only Hotep Jesus.
Ryan Sharp, better known to the world as Hotep Jesus.
Hotep Jesus. Hotep Jesus. Hotep Jesus.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
somebody said, what do you think you are, some kind of Hotep Jesus?
Ooh,
and
that's
I was
good.
Just like, ooh, that's sexy. Yes, I do think I'm Hotep Jesus.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, depending on where you are in the world. Welcome to the Grift Report, live Monday through Friday, 2 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm your host, the Grift God.
Hotep Jesus. Hotep Jesus. Hotep Jesus.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
Oh, this a real Hotep brother.
Hotep to the chat. Hotep to the Hotepistanis.
Hotep.
Who's in here? Let's check on my chatters. We got to check on the Hotepistanis. Loki in the chat. What up, Loki? Loki in his house. Xantoven, Kelson, AP, I see you. J Pylon, Haram Life, appreciate you. Haram Life blessed the Cash App yesterday. Make sure y'all check out the Haram Life podcast. Getting a bunch of text messages. I'm not gonna read them now because I noticed that when I read the text messages, I get all discombobulated with the stream and I want to stay on point. So shout out to our Cash Appers, $Hotep Jesus on the Cash App. Appreciate you. Emily, thank you for the Cash App. Appreciate you. Real quick, before we get into what we got to get into, before we get into the topics of the day, where did it go? Oh, okay. That's right. It's official. Coming soon to menofwater.com. We got another project coming soon.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
I should say product. Coming soon. Make sure you collect them all. As you already know, we got Flow, Bada Bang. We got Apex, Bada Boom. Next one is Bada Bow. Next one is one that many people are going to enjoy and need and been asking for. Anybody take a guess what you think the next product hitting menofwater.com is? Can anybody take a guess? Anybody know? Anybody think they know? Shout out to Robert Jones, member for 6 months. Amish County, the original Hotepistan.
Oh, this a real Hotep brother.
Big facts. Shout out to all my Amish homies out there. I appreciate you. Shout out to all the Amish homies. Any guesses on what you think the next Men of Order product is going to be? Reading some comments over here on Rumble. My apologies for the silence. Yeah, that was my baby in the background. She kind of wanted to be heard. Shout out to Emmanuel Presley, member for 11 months.
Oh, this a real Hotep brother.
11 months. Damn. Shout out to you, man. Nervous system focused? In a way. Hotep Viagra? Well, there's kind of like Hotep Viagra built into Apex. Nootropics? We got nootropics already. That's Flow. Flow is our nootropic. So we got nootropics settled. We got Apex, which is testosterone, muscle building. Nope, not creatine. A liquid kufi. Anyway, give you guys an opportunity to try and guess. Today's super chat goal is $53. Every dollar helps reach that goal. Gut cleanse? No. All of our supplements do a bit of gut cleaning. CBD? No. No CBD. No. GABA? Well, we got GABA in the Flow. Loki. Get you that Flopex. Descendant of Loki, member for 6 months.
Oh, this a real Hotep brother.
What up, Loki? Loki came to the Grifties, which reminds me. Grifties is out now. I sent an email out to my email subscribers this morning. And you can subscribe to my email list at hotepjesus.com. Patriot J tweeted he was watching the Grifties right here from his TV. How late is that? He says, in bed, sick, eating soup, watching the Grifties because I missed it in person, shaking my head. Here we go. Screenshot of the Grifties, sponsored by Dropkick Copy, dropkickcopy.com/Hotep for all of your copywriting needs. Shout out to Nabil and my homies out in Dubai. Dubai sponsoring. Imagine that. It's good, homegrown, American-bred content, and we couldn't find a single American sponsor. How shitty is that? That's real fucking shitty. I want all of you Americans to do better next year for the Grifties. Get the word out. We need sponsors so we can do it bigger, better, and better. All right? We bled the bank on this one. We lost money on this one. But we do it for the people, so it's never actually a loss. Shane Cashman posted his snippet, his performance on stage. You can watch that now on my page or Shane Cashman's page. Shout out to Shane Cashman. But you can watch the Grifties at patreon.com/Hotep has been told you, the greatest award show on the planet, the funniest award show on the planet. Matter of fact, I should probably get the press release. Shout out to Leah. Leah published the press release for the Grifties. They're texting me about that now. Antonov sent $10 on Cash App. Salute to you. Appreciate you.
This a real Hotep brother.
That's love right there. Also, Miss Sorry Crypto has just published, after a long wait, and they have published their report on Syscoin. It says Syscoin has undergone several iterations with the end goal of combining the security of BTC with the programmability of ETH, so Bitcoin and Ethereum. With the launch of Rolux and ZKDA, which is a form of zero knowledge proof, they've been able to close the gap with their competition. Read the overview of Sys, and then if you go to the website, you click that link right there, you'll be able to read this report. Also, I updated OBS, so we shouldn't have any more freezing issues. Hopefully not. Understanding Syscoin, a comprehensive overview. So here are some key insights. I'll read these key insights to you really fast. Syscoin is an open source and decentralized development platform that aims to combine the security of Bitcoin, proof of work, and programmability of Ethereum's EVM. Its modularity allows it to support EVM rollups and other layer 2 scaling technologies. The growth of Syscoin's user base and ecosystem primarily takes place on an L2 called Rolux, which has deployed to mainnet on June 28, 2023. The Syscoin L1 itself serves as the infrastructure, with Sys also serving as the native coin of Rolux. Syscoin L1, that's layer 1, utilizes merge mining as it aims to give L2s the security of Bitcoin's own network. And I think that the way that they did the merge mining is absolutely genius. Rolux is an optimism fork built to be fast and low cost enough for microtransactions, yet secured from beneath in such a way as to support high value use cases. Rolux uses Syscoin's general purpose data availability solution called Proof of Data Availability, aka PODA, to link to Syscoin L1, which is supported by Bitcoin miners. So it's a good way to sort of grift off of Bitcoin. This is genius grifting right here. Through the use of zero knowledge proofs and ZK-based light client for Sys, ZKDA was established with the goal of extending PODA to other chains, right? So zero knowledge data availability. Great news. You can go read that full report on masari.io. For some of you guys not familiar with Syscoin, I suggest going in and reading the full report. Now, the reason why I say it's very beneficial, this is a very long report, right? And then the longer the report, especially when you're a noob, the better, right? And the reason why I say that is because, for example, you know, people say, hey, I want to learn about crypto, right? Or Bitcoin or whatever it may be, right? But usually we're talking about cryptocurrency. They want to learn more about this emerging or established technology. And the way I've done it was read complicated papers, right? And this is how I study most things. I read complicated papers. So, for example, it says here, blockchain scaling solutions. If you don't know what that is, then you just stop and you go look at, you know, what are scaling solutions, right? And it says have been some of crypto's most popular ecosystems, blah, 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 blah. And then it comes to this thing, it says proof of stake. So you might not know what proof of stake is. So you go, okay, let me stop and let me look up proof of stake, right? And you just do that all the way down the paper until you know all the terms. And I'm telling you, by the time you get through just the introduction, you're going to know more than 99% of the people. You're going to know more than all of your friends about cryptocurrency just by looking up every term you don't know in this introduction paragraph. Guaranteed, okay? So yeah, that's love right there. Make sure y'all check that out. Justine Ellison bringing us $10 closer to our goal. Shout out to Justine.
This a real Hotep brother.
Sister. Appreciate you. All right, let's get into what we got to get into. Without further ado, the grift has been grifting. And a lot of this grift surrounds Trump, Beyonce. But I want to start here first. I want to show you one of my favorite personalities. I'm not going to say musicians. I'm going to say one of my favorite personalities. I really, really enjoy this individual. I'm not exactly sure why. I think it's more or less because I feel like this person is being themselves, and that's enjoyable to see people not do weird things and not be themselves, you know, sell their soul. And this person right here has been genuine from the start. And we're talking about none other than Sexy Red. Shout out to Sexy Red. Here she is in all of her splendor, standing in front of a Make America Sexy Again ginormous hat. I don't know if this is photoshopped or this is real, but this is her official Twitter account. Okay. That's her official Twitter account. So she published this. Make America sexy again. I agree with that. We do need to make America sexy again. In order to do that, we're going to have to get rid of the blue-haired whites. We're going to have to get rid of fat phobia. No, I'm sorry. We're going to have to affirm fat phobia. We're going to have to start shaming people. We need to make America sexy again. Okay? The Man of Order is helping that mission. Matter of fact, we got a new workout of the day. I might show that to you later. It's a beast of a workout. I'm probably going to get that in this week sometime. I did Cassius Cam's ab workout yesterday, and I'm reeling today. Anyway, so some people, mostly gatekeepers, like Ebro from Hot 97, have said this says massa. As in master, as in massa from the plantation. This is how Ebro has chosen to spun it, because Ebro is a Democrat gatekeeper. What he wants to do is he wants to keep black people, mostly Latinos as well, Latinos, Latinas. They want to keep all the New Yorkers in a victim mindset, white man bad, and they want to gatekeep for the Democratic Party to keep that money flowing. Now we know that Rosenberg has been outed with his dad is working on the Hill. So allegedly Peter Rosenberg is a Democrat agent. He's an op. Okay. He's an agent. He's an Agent Smith in the community. And they've chosen to come after none other than the one who's kept it real the most, Sexy Red. Ladies and gentlemen, that's called misogynoir.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
Now let's talk about another controversial figure who I happen to admire. One of the greatest musicians to ever live. Greater than Adele. I got to introduce to you none other than the greatest pop star since Michael Jackson. Beyonce knows. Beyonce has announced she's got an album coming to her 15.3 million followers on Twitter. Here she is sitting atop the back of a white horse. We're going to get into that in just a moment. We're going to have to dive into some conspiracy theories. But before we dive into that, I want to take a look at what are the streets saying? What is it that the streets are saying? There's been some back and forths and some vitriol. There's some history lessons here. But I want to take a look at some of the responses to this. One of them from my sister. Absolutely adore this woman. Tori Nicks. Tori Nicks has taken to Elon's platform and has said, putting the American flag on your album cover in this social climate is a choice. Now, when I first saw this tweet, I said, I know where this animus is coming from. A lot of this stems from Tori Nicks is very critical of Israel, has been very critical of the Middle East conflict. She has supported the Palestinians since October 7th and probably beforehand, but has been very outspoken. She does have some ill feelings, I want to say, towards the United States of America, maybe. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to attempt to call her. I did not warn her and say I'm going to call you, but I'm going to try and attempt to call her now and see what happens. Maybe she picks up, maybe she does not. But we're going to try and call her to get to the bottom of this thing to see why did she tweet this. And Tori Nicks, how are you?
I'm good, brother. How are you?
Life is great. Just fair warning, we are live on my show right now and you are on my screen, so I just want to get permission to continue this call publicly.
Okay. Let me put my earpiece in, though.
Okay.
How about that?
All right.
1 second.
So we got my sis Tori Nicks on the line right here. We got her very controversial tweet on the screen. She's fixing the earbuds. And then we're going to spend some time with her to find out exactly what she meant by this tweet. And then I'll give my response to it. Tori, you there?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. So I have here on my screen your tweet, which has faced a lot of feedback. Says, putting the American flag on your album cover in this social climate is a choice. All capital letters with 3 exclams.
Indeed.
Tori, what did you mean by this? What made you want to tweet something like this? Do you have a problem with the American flag? You got beef with Beyonce? What is this about?
First of all, I mute that tweet so long ago, I don't even know what it's doing. Okay, let's start there. I've seen some people in my mentions, calling me ugly on a few other tweets, but I ain't think much of it.
That is false.
To be honest, we see what's going on in the world right now.
Mm-hmm.
America on the international stage is not in good grace. To us, especially as a Black American, I do hold pride in my homeland, which is America.
Okay.
But I understand how others may look at us in a not so good way. I once saw a tweet that said something like, if people are so unhappy with America, why don't they go back to their country or go somewhere else? And I saw someone say, well, when you're in America, you won't face American imperialism, and you're less likely to be bombed by America. So we can't act like the world views America like we view America, okay? Because our experience is different. So as America, I should say the United States, because it's not the whole America.
Right.
The United States is on the jumbo screen in the international community, being viewed as being accused of assisting in a genocide. It doesn't matter how you feel about that. The narrative is that the United States is assisting in that. So when we have Black artists who have used politics in the past to sell albums, because that's what it is for.
Yeah.
When you have the Black Panther era, then you have the Black righteous era, you're calling yourself and your husband calling himself Malcolm X and this and that. and then you sit silent on anything that's not profitable for you. You're going to get the scholars and the thinkers to start having a discussion about that. And art, if you name your album Renaissance, I feel like you have a pretty good understanding of how art influences society, reality, community. And when we have Black community leaders such as Beyonce now. I understand that we should not be holding celebrities up to politician standards, but unfortunately, the Black community, and when I say Black community, I'm talking about Black Americans, because in America we deal with race.
Okay.
The Black community, when we have these celebrity leaders who cannot find their voice outside of profit, it's a problem. And so when you have a figure like Beyonce choosing this moment, when the United States is on the international stage, to broadcast this American flag, that was your choice. As someone who has worked in the entertainment industry, I know that you can change your mind at the last moment if you want to. It doesn't matter if you've had this cover for years or months or weeks. You know what's going on in the world. You know how the American flag is portrayed elsewhere. So you made that choice, and now you're going to deal with the consequences of social discussion. That's it. No one can stop Beyonce from doing what she's going to do, from doing what she's doing, from making the money that she's going to make. She's still going to get the streams. She still has the fan base that's going to ride or die for her. And that's great for her. But at the end of the day, it was simply a choice that she made, and no one can stop us from discussing it. No one can stop us from looking at it from zooming out and look at the bigger picture. And the bottom line is, when we make these type of choices as artists and as influencers in the world, it doesn't really matter what our personal intentions is when there's a huge machine that can use that image to further their imperialistic agenda. And that's it.
So one question, and I'll let you go. What did you think was a message she's trying to send, or how do you think this thing is being interpreted with her on this horse with the flag? What's the interpretation, or what do you think the message? Do you think she's grifting off of politics, or what is it like? What message did you sort of infer from that image?
I'm going to be honest. I don't know, and I'm willing to sit and observe what her explanations of her intentions will be. Okay. I don't know. You know, she's very mysterious. She doesn't give a lot of context. She doesn't give any explanation for the things she does. She just kind of lets it play out and let the fans kind of dictate. Because I understand Southern rodeo culture. Yeah. I know that exists, and I understand the symbolic nature of a Black woman in the rodeo waving an American flag. I understand that, but what are your intentions? What, as an artist, what is your message? What are you intending on creating? What conversation are you intending on creating? Because right now, there's just confusion and speculation. So it would be great if once and for all, like, Beyonce actually said something. But from her, from the caption, it still just seems personal. She wants to release, she said it's not a country album, it's a Beyonce album.
Yeah.
Okay, so we can take out the country aspect, the rodeo aspect of it. What is the message? What's the symbol surrounding Beyonce and the American flag? I would love to know.
I don't know.
I would love to know.
That's a good question. That's what we're here to figure out, man.
Yeah. So people can speculate. They can come at me sideways. They could be mad, but the fact of the matter is, all I said was the fact that putting that on your album cover in this social climate is a choice. Yeah. One that she made, and now here we are.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. This is a choice. I love the way you worded this, right? Because it wasn't like you came out and said, hey, I disagree with this, although it could be inferred. I know you didn't, appreciate it. But the way you worded it was very clever, and you could tell you thought about it. because you're right. It was a choice. She knew what year it was. She knew it was election season. She knew what was going on overseas. And she chose to put that on the album cover. And she knew it would get a lot of talk. She knew.
Yep.
She knew.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's it. That's it, and that's all.
Well, thank you for picking up the phone. Thank you. I appreciate you. We're going to link this summer. We're going to kick it.
Absolutely. I'll be out in New York very soon, so I'm going to definitely be coming to see you.
All right, hit me up. I'm here.
Peace. Love.
Peace, love. My sis has spoken. I don't always agree with everybody, but in this case, y'all know me in that American flag. Y'all know how I feel about that American flag. Y'all know how I feel about jingoism and just blind patriotism. Y'all know how I feel. Some of you in the chat are some jingos. You live and die by that flag. But that flag has caused more pain in this earth, probably more than any other flag ever. Maybe. I don't know. Don't know. I can't say for certain. But let's go to some more tweets. There's been a lot of discussion. And of course, we're not going to leave you without a lesson today, right? Anytime we bring up these small brain conversations, we always have to find a way to make this stream educational, so people leave enriched, right? We want all of our audience to leave enriched. We want them to leave with a full belly and a full mind. And we just got another super. Jabari Judah said Beyonce works for the other team. All she is going to bring is confusion. That's the goal of that big club we're not in. And he put the all-seeing eye in there. Uh-oh. Y'all done got Jabari started. So I got about 4 or 5 tweets to look at here. Let's take a look at this one. This one, Liberation Black says, I saw someone say Beyonce is reclaiming U.S. patriotism to show Black Americans remain the architects of this country. Yawn. There is no reclaiming what that flag represents on stolen land. It is a symbol of imperialism and a reactionary aesthetic. You know what?
This a real Hotep brother.
It's a very, very, very great take. I like that take. I like this take. This is a good take. There's nothing wrong with this take at all. I saw somebody in the chat say colonization was good, right? And I know they're trolling and they just want attention, and I'm going to give it to them. But before you say that, I just need you to read one paper and then tell me you still maintain that same premise. So there's this paper, a wonderfully written paper. If you have not read this, you should read this. This should be a part of all homeschooling curriculum. This is by Ted Kaczynski. It's called Industrial Society and Its Future. Industrial Society and Its Future. Everyone should read this. This is a phenomenal paper. Phenomenal paper. Also known as the Unabomber Manifesto. I want you to read that and then maintain the notion that colonialism was good. That's all I want you to do. You know what I'm saying? Phenomenal paper that all must read, okay? If you're a Hotep, you never read that, take your time, read through it. Take chapter by chapter and read through it. Phenomenal work. I might do a presentation on it one day. Now, let's go to the coons. Let's go to the coon take. And now this isn't a coon take because he disagrees. Because I have no problem with people affirming the other side of the argument, right? Like if somebody says this United States flag represents evil and all of that stuff. Okay, good, cool. Somebody comes along and says, hey, it represents a lot of good and soldiers that died for good and whatever your excuse, no problem with that either. But I know when a nigga is cooning, and this right here is just pure manufactured cooning. Are we allowed to use that word? Anyway, I'm black. I'm allowed to use it. Javon A. Price. Yeah, he's definitely one of these black conservatives. Here he is. Probably a tether, too. Favorite sports team in the bio. There's this Negro right here. He knows what he's doing. This Negro, and he knows he grifting. Javon, I know you grifting. Got himself a little Bible quote. This is the trifecta to get the red whites on your team. America first. Put the American flag in your bio. He got the elephant in there. He got MAGA banner. So what does he say? Oh, y'all are real mad Beyonce is repping the flag of the greatest country known to mankind. I keep telling y'all black Americans are reclaiming our heritage and embracing our Americanness. Now time out. I don't think black Americans are reclaiming our Americanness. I don't think that's true. Niggas don't really fuck with America like that. We might rock the flag as a fashion symbol because that shit go hard like Dipset and the rest of them. We tend to take symbols and turn them into fashion and other forms of expression. But this Negro said the greatest country known to mankind. Now this is what you call a grifter statement. What's the other term for this? It'll come to me. But this is just like something politicians say. The greatest country known to mankind. It's right up there with people who use the word democracy. So whenever you see somebody say the greatest country known to mankind or the greatest country and all this other shit, it's pure cap. It's cap. It's not only cap, it's grifting. And it's a lie. It's a lie. It's not the greatest country known to mankind. It is simply not the greatest country known to mankind. You might have got that off in the 80s. You might have got that off in the 90s. But if it was true, Trump wouldn't have had to say, make America great again. We have fallen way off. We have fallen way off. Okay? Okay? This is terrible. Rudy, feel how you want about the flag. I don't care, but the stolen land trope is low IQ. All land was stolen or conquered throughout history. Well, Rudy, you can't, you can't separate those two. You can't separate those two. If the flag represents stolen land and you still have some animus towards it, you're probably not going to like the flag. The flag is a symbol of the United States flag, to be totally honest with you. United States flag is a Masonic symbol used to hypnotize people, particularly forced immigrants, and I'm talking about Europeans here, forced immigrants to create some sort of solidarity with the Freemason-controlled power structure. Okay? Matter of fact, see, y'all gonna make me go down history lane. Let's see if we can pull this up. Hold on. So this is some sort of interview I've pulled up here. So this is in regard to Freemasonry and the American flag. The history of our fraternity has been wrapped around the American flag since the founding of our nation, just as the history of our democracy has been forged. This is straight from the Scottish Rite. This is straight from the Freemasons. This is Freemasons themselves. forged by generations of Freemasons who dedicated their lives to serve in whatever they were called upon, blah, 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 blah. Principles of Freemasonry are really tied to patriotism. The flag's a part of that. It's part of our ritual. It's part of our heritage. It's part of being a Mason. We pledge allegiance to it, blah, 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 blah. The country was founded by giants of history who were mostly Freemasons. It's a symbol of sacrifice, blah, 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 blah. The flag came from the hearts of Masons, including helping to create the first American flag. Many people know the early patriots such as George Washington, Paul Revere, Benjamin Franklin were all Masons, but few are aware that Brother Francis Hopkinson, who designed the original 13-star flag, would become. So, again, remember, 13, the number 13, Freemasonry. There's a reason why you had 13 colonies. The symbols are right there. Some of you choose to close your eyes and not pay attention. You're like little kids at Christmas when somebody tells you that there is no Santa Claus. You know, that's what you guys are. And sorry, you know, if I hurt feelings on this show, but that's what we do. We give you the unadulterated truth. Okay. But you are dealing with a Freemason experiment. America is a peripheral nation. Okay. It's a peripheral nation. Again, refer back to Carol Quigley, Tragedy and Hope. America is a peripheral nation of Western civilization. It is not the core. The core is in Europe. America is a peripheral nation. It is an experiment. It is an extension of Western civilization. The flag was created to give you the concept that you are a free and independent nation, not beholden to the Western powers, yet everything your government does follows in line with the European Union and NATO and the UN and the WHO, World Health Organization. Somehow, some people have not figured out that you are a peripheral nation, and they put this flag and they put these symbols of, Pledge of Allegiance and the national anthem to give you the perception that you live in a free and independent nation, and your nation is somehow separate and different from the Westernist powers. It is a psyop. It is a brainwashing tool. It is something used to create patriotism where none deserves to live. And many of you have fallen for this. Many of you are, what we would call red whites. Red whites, they live and die by this stuff, but they just don't know their history. And if they knew their history, they would know that this was a Freemason experiment. Sorry to say. And, again, not to disrespect people who fought and died for this country. If you love the flag, I affirm your right to love the flag. But we're going to call a spade over here on this channel. OK, maybe I'll do a presentation on the symbols of America and shit like that. Anyway, let's go back. Do we got more in here? Yeah, we got more. Bryson Gray. We got two more tweets to look at here. Here's Bryson Gray's tweet. Here's his take. Ew. I've seen many conservatives hyping up Beyonce on my timeline. She's a degenerate heathen pushing Satan's values.
Oh, this a real Hotep brother.
Now I'm not rocking with Bryson on this one. This whole Beyonce's a heathen. I know Bryson is a demon slayer. We got to play his trailer too. Don't let me forget to play his trailer. But the conservatives, the red whites are just, you just disappoint me so much. You don't have no principles. You don't stand on your laurels. You just, it doesn't take much to buy your fucking support. It doesn't take much at all. One little symbol, she throws up a flag and everybody goes, oh my God, Beyonce. This is the power of symbols. This is the power of symbols. I'm going to say that one more time. This is the Freemasonic power of symbols, to where they could take somebody that you just said you didn't like just last year because you seen him on stage with Hillary. Just last election, you seen him on stage with Hillary. She throw up a flag, and now you're like, oh, Beyonce. Nigga, Beyonce could have had a Jamaican flag. If I ain't like Beyonce, it's still fuck Beyonce. Motherfuckers got no principles. No principles. Just that quick, now all of a sudden y'all Beyonce fans, kiss my ass. Kiss my ass. Hypocrites. Ugh. I hate it. Sharice Lane makes it to the Grift Report. She says, the people hating on Beyonce holding an American flag on her album cover have foreign flags in their bio while living in America. If you hate America that bad, go back to your country. It's that simple. Oh, my God. Oh, shit. Damn. She hit y'all with go back to your country. Shots fired. Shots fired. Benson Davido said the Great Leap Forward, Congo Soviet Winter Revolution, the Chinese Taiping Rebellion, the Waffen SS, no way has our flag caused Muslim slave trade or Muslim conquest, doesn't even come close. Oh, are you saying that United States doesn't have a bigger death toll than some of these other places? Like like you mentioned Congo, and you're saying United States doesn't match? I don't know. I think United States has definitely played a part in some of those things. So, for example, the Waffen SS, United States funded that. That's Wall Street right there. Muslim conquest. Muslim conquest is partly a Western-backed empire until the Ottoman Empire falls and they defeat the Sultan. But there was a lot of cooperation between the Western powers and the Ottoman Empire when it deemed when it was beneficial for the Western powers. And then once it was no longer beneficial, they turned their backs on the Ottoman Empire and then turned it into dust. The Bolshevik Revolution, that's Wall Street money. So that means that Stalin's deaths fall under the hands of the Western Civ. And again, you cannot separate the United States from the West. The United States is an extension of the West. You guys want to make this thing separate. It's not separate. It's an extension of the West. So if something happens, in England or Russia, especially the Bolshevik Revolution, this is Western-backed destruction. So Stalin's death toll, Western-backed. Mao's revolution, Western-backed. Because don't forget, it's the West that installed communism in Russia, and Russia exported communism to China. So vis-a-vis, this is Western-backed. The ideology of Sanger and eugenics class. Damn, that's a great example. We could stop right there. Margaret Sanger and Planned Parenthood. What is their death toll at? It's a Holocaust every year dealing with Planned Parenthood. You know what I'm saying? Western back, aka tunnel backed. No. Don't try to put this on the Jews. Don't do that. No. There was a cooperation. And just as there were Jews on one side of the thing, there were Jews on the other side of the thing saying those Jews are wrong. So don't do the Jew thing. No. You were holding hands. The Anglo and the Jew held hands in their Western conquest. Don't try and place blame on another group. You was there, nigga. You was there. You were there. You were there. Stand 10 toes down on your imperialism. Be proud of that shit. If it was me, I tell you, we kicked your ass and we conquered your people. The Jews didn't do it. I did it. That's what I would say. The truth is, when y'all do that, y'all are embarrassed by the imperialism. You cannot on one hand say you love America and on the other hand say the Jews did it, because without the Jews, there would be no America.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
There would be no great scientific endeavors. Huh? Let's go to the history lesson. It's time to go down the history lane. Let's enrich the people's minds before we go back to Beyonce. The history lesson I want to give you about Beyonce. Let's pull this up. So one of our wonderful white allies has done some homework. And I love when our white allies do homework. Let's take a listen.
Hey y'all, it's Lil Debbie. I had to go to stool today because I figured some shit out, okay? I gotta sit down because it's gonna be a long video. I'm gonna trim it down as much as I can, but ooh, I'm so excited. Okay, I think I figured out the connection between the Abbey Park rodeo drop, the Soul Circuit, and Black Rodeo that later turned into the Cowboys of Color rodeo.
Now, first of all, let me just say that she doing too much, but I love where her heart is. I love where her mind is. And I also love some of the facts that she's pulled up. But the connections I have a problem with.
The first ever Black-owned circus by Ephraim Williams, who ran his circus out of red, white, and blue railroad cars.
So she tries to first conflate red, white, and blue. But does anybody know what red, white, and blue actually stands for? Let's see if I can pull this up. So in order to understand that, there's a thing here on history.com. Why are barber poles red, white, and blue? You guys ever seen this at a barber? So the answer here is the red represents blood. White represent the bandages used to stem bleeding. And the blue is symbolic of the veins cut during the bloodletting. Okay, so just because you see red, white, and blue don't exactly mean America all the time. Okay, now for people that didn't know, once upon a time you couldn't just go to a doctor. You know, you're a cowboy, you're hanging out in the wild, wild west, you was busting some guns, and now you got a couple of injuries, right? You didn't go to the doctor. You went to the barber. I don't know what school system you went to, but I went to a really good school system that taught us this stuff. And when you went to the barber, he would oftentimes perform surgery. Some of those things were bloodletting, which is a very bad idea. But they would perform surgery. You'd go to the barber, you get a haircut, and the bullet taken out your shoulder. So just because you see red, white, and blue does not mean explicitly American. Now, it could be in the context of what she's talking about, but you can't just say, I seen red, white, and blue, so that mean America. No, that's not how that works, okay? Because there's a lot of nations with red, white, and the blue on their flag. One of them being an African nation, I believe. Hold on, let me see. And it may be in reference to America. Yeah. So I was going to say Liberia, but I did remember that. This was, again, Masonic. Liberia flag. You'll see here, the American Colonization Society. So that's who found Liberia, but also the 13 Stars and Stripes. Okay. But again, you cannot just say red, white, and blue means America. Let's go back.
Also wore a top hat, a suit, and a cane.
So now she's trying to say, top hat, suit, and cane. This time period that she's talking about, everybody that had a little bit of money had a top hat, suit, and cane. That was like the style of dress then. She didn't single out one dude and go, oh, he wore a top. Everybody wore a top hat and a cane, Susie. It was even deemed disrespectful to leave the house without something on your head. They used to tip their hat, but everybody left the house. They would customarily wear a cap on their head. It was deemed to be respectful. Let's go.
So in the Harper Bazaar interviews that both Beyonce and Miss Tina did for the Ivy Park Rodeo drop, Beyonce mentioned in this interview how American black cowboys used to be forced to work with the worst and most temperamental horses. It was a dangerous job. It wasn't fair. So they took their talent.
So it's true. The original cowboys is black. They called them boys because they wouldn't call black men men. So this is true. Black folks is the original cowboys.
And created their own rodeo.
Allegedly. I still have not done extensive research on that, so I cannot be certain.
The first black rodeo called Soul Circuit. Okay, so what is the Soul Circuit? Beyonce said in this interview, through time, these black rodeos showcased incredible performers, helped black Americans reclaim their space in Western history and culture. The rodeo was designed to educate while it entertains. Hello, Beyonce. Here is where I want to bring in the first black-owned circus by Ephraim Williams. Previously, circuses were a hellscape for black Americans. They were resigned to the freak show portion of the circus.
That's true.
Circus, they were put in these extremely degrading positions, and it just overall was terrible. Ephraim Williams wanted to create a circus that, again, just like the Black Rodeo, showcased the talents and the greatness that is black performers. This became yet another space for black entertainment and education. In this circus, Ephraim Williams had acrobats, opera singers, horses were a huge part of his show.
So that's good. Good little history lesson. It's a springboard for you to start your studies off of. But let's go here. Let's continue our history lesson. Again, when we talk about the bullshit, we have to enrich the children that are watching. We have to enrich the minds that are watching. And thanks to Goldstein, we got to give credit where credit is due, because Goldstein peeped it. Some other people in regard to Beyonce's white horse mentioned Behold a Pale White Horse. And then Goldstein comes along and he mentions this. She's also sending a signal out to where we are officially at on the apocalypse timeline and who's going to be in charge. Now, we're going to get Goldstein to call in and explain further, but let's begin our history lesson. So we're going to dive in over here. 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, Wikipedia. Okay. We're going to just go right down here to white horse, because there may be some symbolism, some hidden symbolism in here. Okay. Or also known as the White Rider. Then I saw, when the Lamb broke, one of the 7 seals, and I heard one of the 4 living creatures say, as with a voice of thunder, "Come." I looked, and behold, a white horse, and he who sat on it had a bow, and a crown was given to him. And he went out conquering and to conquer. Now, Beyonce is wearing a crown in her image. She doesn't have a bow, but she does have a flag in her hand. That might be me looking too deep into things.
Oh, this a real Hotep brother.
Like Susie was a few minutes ago, but we did it anyway. The above passage is a common English translation of the rider of the white horse, sometimes referred to as the White Rider. He is thought to carry a bow, Greek, and wear a victor's crown. Okay. Is the diamond of conquest and glory. It says here, as Christ, the gospel of the Holy Spirit, for the broad historical interpretation of Christ as the rider of the white horse It is to be understood that the Antichrist does not appear until the opening of the sixth seal. Events in world history since the founding of Christianity were interpreted as horses up to the sixth seal event. Therefore, this interpretation can be seen as either partially preterist or, did I pronounce that right? Hold on. I'm very particular about knowing some of words. Like I was like, this, I don't know this word. I've never heard this word before. Preterist. What the hell is preterist? Is it preterist? Preterist? Let's see. Google don't even know how to say the word. Let's see if Collins Dictionary give us something. Do you have an audio? Let's see. Preterist. Yeah, I said it right. Wait. I thought I saw a play button. That's not it. All right. Anyway, let's go back. So, an instance of dual fulfillment. In the New Testament, the book of Mark indicates that the advance of the gospel may precede and foretell the apocalypse. The color white also tends to represent righteousness in the Bible, and Christ is portrayed as a conqueror in other instances. Besides Christ, the horseman could represent the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit was understood to have come upon the apostles at Pentecost after Jesus departed earth. The appearance of the lion in Revelation 5 shows the triumphant arrival of Jesus in heaven, and the first horseman may represent the sending of the Holy Spirit by Jesus and the advance of the gospel of Jesus Christ. And then it says here, as the Antichrist. In 1866, when C.F. Zimpel defended the hypothesis that the first horseman was the Antichrist, and more precisely, according to him, Napoleon Bonaparte, the Antichrist interpretation later found champions in the United States, such as R.F. Franklin in 1898 and W.C. Stevens in 1928. It remains popular in evangelical circles today. For example, with Pastor Billy Graham, for whom the horseman represented the Antichrist or false prophets in general. So Goldstein put that on our table today, highlighting that this could be a symbol of the four horsemen of the apocalypse. I would love to get him on the phone line to discuss this and tell us more about his take. But first, let me check on the chat. Chat, we are $9 away from our goal. $9 away from our goal. Who's going to help us reach our goal? Let me check on my Rumblers. What's Rumble saying? Okay, all right. Good stuff. Then she dropped that during the spring equinox too. She may have. And that's another thing. Somebody brought up the fact that, you know, she's had several album covers with other horses and other horse colors, etc., etc. Jake Pollin said Hotep was being used as a pejorative. We took it back. Big facts. I saw something on TikTok the other day. They were on TikTok talking about, and I think we covered a version of this in the past, where they were saying that white folks have discovered the word Hotep, and now there are white Hoteps. Somebody tagged me and they said, look what you did, Hotep Jesus. And I just like to say, shout out to all our white Hoteps.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
We don't play skin color games over here. That is for the sheep. Skin color games are for the sheep. We don't do those things here. We can be real and frank about decisions that white people should make for white people, decisions that black people should make for black people. But when those decisions are made, they should be made for the goal of peace, for the goal of being Christ-like. I know some people like that. I like that because Christ-like has nothing to do with the Bible, or I should say very little to do with the Bible. Christ is a form that you can become. Crystalline, Christ, crystal, Christine, crystalline. So I love that, you know, Christ-like type of situation. But that's what we want. We want people to reach a Christ-like status. That's what we want. We want people to participate in that. And we don't play the whole, you're bad because you're white, you're bad because you're black, and all that bullshit. No, that serves no purpose other than to give the powers that be more power. Okay. All right. How many years to reclaim woke? I think we're slowly reclaiming the term woke. Little by little, we are reclaiming it. So it's probably, I would say reclaiming woke is probably easier than when we reclaimed Hotep. Hotep was a battle. That was a serious battle. And the thing is, see, woke is being used as a pejorative by the right, but the right ain't got no power. They only have potential power that they don't know how to tap into. But the left has all the real power. So when we took Hotep, we took it from the powers that be. We took that from the powerful left. We fought Netflix, Stars, Paramount, Amazon. We fought the biggest tech giants in the world to reclaim this term and won the war. So woke can definitely be snatched back from the right. That's not hard at all. Okay? Especially since we've identified something as called the woke right. And they don't like that. So if it means giving us back the term woke so they won't be called the woke right anymore, I'm sure they will relinquish control of the term woke. Let me see if there's something else I want to share before I go to the phone lines. I have a feeling there's something else. Spirit's been talking to me and saying, what's something else you got to share. Let me do another look. Oh, that's what it was. Yeah, we're going to have to share this. Hold on a second. Let me just make sure it's nothing else. Yeah, all right. It's this right here. So there's a tweet going around that says, what is the most insane thing someone said during an interview? And this is what appeared. I remember this. This was wild. This was the time period where they were trying to cancel Hotep.
Yeah, black women under 50, like black men are our number 2 cause of death. And that comes from rhetoric.
For black women, the number 2 cause of death for black women is black men.
Yeah, black women.
The number 2 cause of death for black women is black men. Did you hear that shit? This is the shit the feminists was saying. They was platforming. They brought them on the Breakfast Club to say this shit. Not the Hoteps who could bring a word of unity. Nah, that's not going to get clicks. Unity doesn't get clicks. What are you doing, Hotep Jesus? We need clicks. We need views. We got sponsors and shit to get. Black men are the number 2 cause of death for black women. This is what they said. Meanwhile, when you look it up, it's a damn cheeseburger.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
We have fallen so far from the greatness that our ancestors have lined us up for. And when I say ancestors, particularly I'm talking about our direct ancestors, our direct lineage. Not the famous names they're going to give you. I'm talking about the names we will never hear from. Our grandmothers, our aunties, our great-grandmothers, our uncles, our grandfathers, our fathers. Some of the greatest people to ever live that never saw a microphone or a camera. We've strayed so far from their ways, and we must return back to tradition, back to a time where life was much simpler, back to a time where there was love. Okay, we must return. With that being said, Let's go to phone lines. Text Hotep in your name to 202-596-5631. Text Hotep in your name to 202-596-5631. I'll be right back after this short, brief commercial break.
Envision a sanctuary where community and sustainability are the cornerstones of living. In this haven, every family is able to grow their own food, children flourish through homeschooling tailored to unlock their full potential, and education extends beyond textbooks, instilling self-worth and a deep understanding of the world around them. Here, goodwill isn't just an ideal, it's the essence of daily life, where respect for law and order harmonizes with the community's resourcefulness. This place isn't just a dream, it's a call to action for everyone who believes in a better, more connected way of living. Join us in building a future where each individual's contributions create a tapestry of enduring harmony and prosperity. Join us in Hotepistan.
Goldstein on the check. And Goldstein, what's good, bro?
What's happening?
What's happening with him?
Same old shit, you know. I see motherfucking Beyonce sending out the bat signal.
Who is she sending the bat signal out to?
To all the other motherfuckers who read esoteric signs and symbols. Like, you know, she's got her witch class of individuals that she hangs out with, the Abramoviches and all them motherfuckers, right?
Yep.
So there's people who are a little less outside of their fucking network of in-the-know individuals, and she's sending that symbol to them to let them know that the shit is about to hit the fan.
Is that what this means?
That's what it means. Shit's about to hit the motherfucking fan.
What do you mean shit's about to hit the fan? What does that exactly mean? What do you mean? Like, for who?
For the average Joe, for the people who ain't aware, for the motherfuckers who don't have the eyes to see. Like, you know, the economy's about to fucking collapse. Get your shit together. This is why they've been buying all these bunkers and all this other crazy shit.
Mm-hmm.
It's the beginning of woes, man, right here. The white horse.
So what do you think? They're going to crash the economy before Trump or after Trump?
I think it's going to be probably before, maybe, because they're going to use it as a catalyst to get them elected. It's either going to be that or it's going to be an extreme act of violence. One of those two things is going to occur as a catalyst to get him elected.
Now, I do believe that if this is a signal of anything, I do believe this is talking about death. I do believe that's the symbol. That because people talk about, you know, white means purity. In other villages and tribes, white means death. Because you tend to lose your pigmentation and, you know, the blood leaves your body, you tend to get white. So white sometimes means death.
This is true.
Matter of fact, you remember back in the day, the Hoteps used to do all the etymology and shit. They tracked it down where black means white.
Yeah.
You remember that? I'm gonna have to try and find that.
I do.
I'm gonna have to try and find that. But yeah, so you said it's to the Abramoviches, to the other people, something's coming.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be something violent. I think we're gonna have an event.
Yeah, more than one. Look, there's some significant parallels here. You really look at it. If you look at that fucking picture right there, the part of the flag that's fucking highlighted, the lit up part.
Mm-hmm.
And for the most part, most of the other part of the ship, you can see another one up there, but the part that's highlighted, the lit up part,
Mm-hmm.
Same 3 red stripes that was on the Blueprint 3.
Yes. Yes.
Right.
Yes. I saw you post that. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Right. Now look, Blueprint 3 came out in 2009.
Mm-hmm.
And the motherfucking, that was the year after what, the big collapse, the big financial collapse, that all the banks and shit was getting bailed out in 9.
Yeah, that was the year after.
Obama continued the fucking the shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That shit was used as a catalyst to get his punk ass elected. A financial collapse.
True.
You got these motherfuckers waving these 3 red stripes around for God knows what, you know what I mean? Now here they are resurfacing in the same climate, roughly the same climate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just little shit like that. I'm like, what the fuck? It turned me into Jonah Ryan. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you had to start theorizing and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, goddamn, here you go. You're doing this. You got America sitting on that horse, the same motherfucking horse, the white horse that we all know, the infamous white horse of Revelation. It's just ironic that all the shit going around Trump that kind of points him in a certain direction, and her to be doing this and putting the United States in that seat. Like, huh. So you can look at it one of 2 ways. You could either look at it as she's trying to warn people because she sees that shit, because she hangs out with those witches and shit. Trying to warn people on a local level, on a natural level, you know, instead of her friends, or she's trying to warn her friends. I would say she's trying to warn her friends. Because, you know, all this shit, and I know, like you said, other fucking cultures point to white as being something evil. In this motherfucking particular instance, the white horse is supposed to usher in the Antichrist. The guy on it, he's a false symbol of hope. He has a bow, but he has no arrows, which means he has no real, you know, he only has the appearance of being about it.
Right.
And so you got the United States sitting in that motherfucker. White horse comes to conquer, comes to do all this other crazy shit. Here you got Trump coming in. Crown's going to be given to him here soon. Coming in to conquer all of his enemies first here in the homeland. And they just so happen to be on that list of motherfucking enemies.
Who's on the list?
Beyonce and all her friends.
Oh, shit.
You know what I'm saying?
Damn.
Like, because the old version of the devil that we all knew for all these years is about to change drastically. It's about to shift in a very drastic direction. So all the lascivious, lewd shit that Beyonce symbolizes in the public discourse in this realm of talk is about to be thrown out very soon.
So that could also represent like why she's got that shift too, right? Like that shift to music genre. Like, yo, we off this. We gotta make a different move.
Right.
Yeah.
We gotta get the fuck up out of here because here they come.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's just my theory on it though. Well, mine and a whole bunch of other people.
Yeah. Yeah. That Four Horsemen, that was on point though. You was bullseye with that one.
Yeah, man. Four Horsemen. She's got other covers where she's got the other colored horses too.
Right. That's Yep. She definitely does.
Someone should do a deep dive of the years those were released to see if there's any correlation there.
Big facts.
But there you go.
It's something there. It's something there.
Yeah, it's just odd that you would do that. If nothing else, you're just trying to provoke people into doing dumb shit. Either way it goes, you're working for some fucking body.
Yeah. Yeah.
You figure that if you figure the symbolism, because people will say, well, that's biblical symbolism. That's just the Bible. The fucking world's bigger than the Bible. I get that. But here's what you have to consider. People that believe the Bible are an extension of the people who control all of the mechanisms of symbolism. It's all the same thing. So biblical symbolism to them is their symbolism as well.
Correct.
So it's not a thing of whether or not this is true or if the apocalypse is. None of that matters. None of that matters. Whether it's true or not, it's happening. You know what I mean? It's being orchestrated by the people who wrote the book in the first place. So, I mean, you got to keep your head on a swivel, because whether it's true or not, there's some people who's like, let's read this fucking 66th book of the Bible called Revelations, and let's actually make this happen. One way or another. That's what's going on.
But she knew what she was doing when she threw this flag up here. She knew this was going to cause conversation.
Yes, she did know that. So like I said, if nothing else, she's just an antagonist.
Right. She grifting. At the very least, she grifting. This is a hell of a grift.
Very least. Yeah, fuck it. Might as well get in there. I was thinking about it myself. Fuck it. I was just thinking about going all the way fucking woke right. Fuck it. I'm going to start wearing polos and shit and just, I don't know, do whatever the fuck they do.
How are you going to do the woke right shit? Just basically, all you got to do is fucking copy Unk's tweets. You know, nigga Unk be tweeting like it's straight up woke right. Well, he not as, I can't say he's bad as in wokeness, but he be talking about the shines.
Man, you listen. In wokeness, that just might be more facts too. If you really think about it, in wokeness might just be more facts too.
Who else did you say Mo Facts was last time? Don Lemon?
Yeah, he's Don Lemon.
So he's Don Lemon and wokeness?
You could do a chart on that. Motherfucker could do a chart on that one.
Oh, my
Probably
God.
work out. That's it, though, man. I'm going to let you get back to it.
I appreciate you, man.
Yes, sir.
Oh, they not gonna let Mo live. They gotta let Mo live, man. Get Rudy in here. Get Rudy in here. So I looked up this etymology. It's funny. They got a whole document on this thing. Semantic development of the word black. A history, what? A history of Indo-European to present. They got a whole book on this shit. Says, for instance, black in its Indo-European origin means fire, shining white, or flashing in various bright colors. Today, the word has at least 14 shades of meaning, one of which is dark, completely without light. Thus, on the surface, it appears as if the word today has completely the opposite meaning of its original use.
Call from
Rudy the Vet.
Rudy the Vet. Hold on a second.
No worries,
Thus,
brother.
on the surface, it appears as if the word today is completely an opposite meaning from its original use. A further examination of the semantic history of the word, however, reveals that black picked up many variations through the course of time and has now metaphorically returned to its original definition. This is Journal of Black Studies. I don't know how much I would trust that, especially coming from the Journal of Black Studies. I'd like to see the author. Who is the author on this? Sarah Miller McCune. I'm going to go ahead and say we got to discount this as a source. Let's see. Here she go right here. Sarah Miller McCune. Here she go. I don't know. But she might be on point. There is something here. Uh-oh. Early life. Check the early life. We got our family out in Manhattan.
Oh, this a real Hotep brother.
Rudy, what's good, Joe?
What's going on, brother? What's going on, dude?
Yeah, I'm just always leery when somebody other than a black person is doing black studies. But sometimes it's good. Sometimes you need that. But we're going to see. We're going to do a deep dive in this in a second. What's good, Rudy?
I mean, I wish they would have taught us a little bit more about African history in the school system here. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But what I was saying, I mean, first of all, Beyonce's just living out Bill Cooper's dream, dude. Being old the pale horse. If you ain't read that book, man, you know, it's the beginning. It's the beginning of the Enlightenment.
Oh, this a real Hotep brother.
I remember when Brother Wise gave me that in the Southampton barbershop. I was like, bro, you need to read this. And then from that point forward, it was AM radio, Alex Jones all night long, dude. Alex Jones and George Norrie. But what I was saying earlier, brother, is I know the symbolism of the flag. We know I know who built this country. I know Masons. Okay, I don't care one way or the other how you feel about the flag. But that is a Maoist, low IQ talking point. This is stolen land, man. There ain't a bit of land on this planet that won't stolen, bro. There ain't a bit of land. I've been deep diving at night, man, watching these documentaries on China, right? On the Han Dynasty, the Wu Dynasty, the Mongolians. I mean, as a student of history, that's that Maoist.
But can you fault a woman for not being able to appreciate the latest colonists and their symbology?
Right. No, I can't. And listen, I understand. Like this is
why not?
This is the most modern empire there is, so I understand the animosity towards it. But that is the playbook of the Maoist revolution. The old customs, old norms, old thoughts, old people. Get rid of it all. That is their playbook, and I'm not going to repeat their playbook.
What's their playbook?
The Maoist playbook, man. Get rid of old customs.
I don't think it's really about the stolen land. I think it's more about the continued stealing of land. It's not like this colonization thing ever had a pause, Rudy. Like, since America was born, she's been expanding, right? Like, she's just now reaching a point of retraction, maybe, right? So it's not like this bus has stopped or even paused. There's been a consistent colonization effort.
Okay, all right. You had Shaka Amos on one day who talked about the ancient civilization colonizing into Europe and taking the white slave. Like, this is man, the nature of man, dude.
I'm not discounting that. I'm not discounting that.
So that to say that trope and just throw it at America, oh, this is all stolen. There's not a bit of land on the fucking planet that hasn't been stolen from one tribe to the other tribe.
That don't mean that don't. But that means she's correct, where she is challenging the symbol of the United States. If you say on one hand everybody's been colonizing, and somebody goes, well, I don't give a fuck if everybody's been colonizing. It's ugly, and here's a symbol of colonization. There's technically nothing wrong with that, no?
Okay. No, all right. So she could say that's a symbol of colonization. Hey, all right, I'll give you that. All right. This nothing wrong with that. All they want to do is colonize the rest of us and then put their communist ideology at the forefront, bro. They just want to do it in reverse order.
I don't think that woman is a communist. I know that woman.
Bullshit, man.
No,
She's
I know her.
Talking to
no, I know her. She's like a raging black nationalist, but she's not a communist.
That's not a Maoist talking point then? Old customs, crush it all, dude. Old customs, old symbolism. This is all stolen land. Like there won't countries in Africa, other countries in Africa, like land wasn't like Carthage didn't run up.
But Mao was it? But
Hannibal didn't. Hannibal, black people like Hannibal ran roughshod over Europe. I'm just saying it's not to say that well, this is the shit because it's all stolen. There isn't a bit of land on this planet that hasn't been stolen from one faction of people to another faction of people through the history of time. Just because this is the most recent one.
Mao.
This is the most recent one.
So Mao.
This is part of it.
Mao is a grifter. You can't like say, "Oh, this is Maoist," because Mao. First of all, Mao was taking orders from Moscow. Second of all, Mao was a grifter. So he probably saw that slogan somewhere, like among the nationalists, and stole it. This is how Mao was.
Right.
Mao was a scumbag. Okay, so
yeah, but
you know,
I mean, but he ran that revolution to a fucking
but that's just one. That's just one point, right? Like they have one thing in common, and everybody knows that socialists are grifters, right? They steal they literally come in. There's a group that's impoverished and marginalized, and communists come in and co-opt their movement. That's what they've been doing. There's a hardship amongst the people. Let's co-opt them and give them communism. But that doesn't mean just because they have the same argument that said person is a communist or a Maoist. You can't do that.
I can agree to disagree with you, brother. That's the beauty of being in it cool with you. Like I'm not gonna hold nothing against you. I feel differently. I think like we're in the middle of a cultural revolution in this country, man. The degeneracy and the bullshit that we got to put up with on a day-to-day basis and try to protect our kids from. That's why when I tell you all the time, I go to the top of the mountain. I'm popping I don't give a fuck if you're white, black, brown, yellow, green, purple, or blue. If you ain't on my team, I'm putting a hole in your ass. You see what I'm saying? That's just me. I'm going to the top of the mountain. If you ain't Hotep adjacent, or Amish, I ain't fucking with you, man. I'm dropping you. I'm standing 10 toes down when the Apaches come. But that's just me. But we can agree to disagree. I don't. That's such a lazy.
Dutch said, Hotep Dutch in the chat said, I'm trying to colonize my neighbor right now. It's tough.
Yo, I'm just. That's just me. Man. I hate that argument. It's stolen, man. There ain't man's been stealing land from man from the beginning of fucking time.
I know.
I just hate that. I hate that's such a low brain argument.
I don't think so. I disagree. I don't think it's a low brain. It's the truth. I hate when people tell the truth. It's deemed low IQ. No, the truth is the truth. It's stolen land, and every land that man has ever touched has been stolen land. That needs to be our great reminder as humans to show, look how ain't shit we all is. That we can't point to not a place on this planet that has not been colonized. And that needs to be discussed so people know, stop it, get some help.
All right, I'll give you that point. I'll succeed that point to you. Excellent point. What's the fucking solution?
What's the solution?
What's her solution?
Her solution is she's a black nationalist, so her solution is solidified. She's got a great ideology. Black nationalism is a great ideology.
Okay. So what's her solution?
Black nationalism
to the stolen land. So
no, black nationalism.
What is it? Okay, that's her solution to the stolen land.
Yeah.
So what does she want? Like she wants her own state of her own shit. Or does she want everybody to go back where their race is from? So I'm supposed to go back to Italy and Ireland?
I don't know. I wouldn't say she's that ridiculous. She's a sensible woman. I wouldn't say she's that ridiculous. I think it's very much like for example, when you say what is her ideology? She's a black nationalist, right? And anybody who's a nationalist is going to do well for themselves, right? So the thing is, when people say, black nationalists, they lose sight of the root word, which is nationalism, which is the same thing that Americans want. Nationalism. Let's think about us first, right? So if you have black nationalism, that means she's thinking about black people first, okay? So that's just another form of nationalism. And nationalism is a form of tribalism, and all of this is good. And the reason why tribalism is good is because it stops people from becoming a homogenous mind. And that's what they want. They want everybody to remove all borders, all concepts of race, so you become one people under a one world government. So when I see nationalism, I go, okay, that's not a bad thing.
Hold up, AJ.
Same way as when I see white nationalism, I see the same thing.
And I told you from the day one I called in, I got no problem with black nationalism. I got no problem with white nationalism. I got no problem with Asian nationalism or Latino. If you want to be proud of who you are and where you come from, I got no problem as long as it's not carried with hate. So if this woman's solution is black nationalism and somehow in the future, like, all right, here, this section of America is yours, is it still stolen land then? If this is yours, this is for all black people, black only, this is yours, here you go. Is it stolen land then? Is it stolen land then?
What do you mean?
Like if it came down to the fact, like, she's like, all right, we're gonna buy up all of Alabama. This is our state now. And this is black only, black this, black that, right? Got no issue with it. But is it stolen land then? Is it stolen land?
Yeah.
Is it stolen because it was native land, right?
Yeah.
Right. So what's the solution to that? That's a lame argument.
You just said the solution.
No, we're in the time we're in.
If she goes and she buys Alabama, and that was stolen land, but she's now in possession of Alabama, then problem solved. No.
That's her shit then, right?
That's her shit.
All right, I got no issue with that. So it's not stolen land anymore, though, right?
No, she took it back.
I guess we're just not. That's such a lame argument, dude. It's such a lame argument. This is stolen land.
If I say the white man took my land, and I go.
The Wu Dynasty of China. The Wu Dynasty of China is pretty pissed off that the Hans came through and fucking wrecked shop and took fucking China away from the Wus. I guarantee you the Koreans were mad as shit when the Japanese marched through and took their shit.
Correct.
Or the Mongols came through and took all of fucking China.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? And started pushing east to the Roman Empire.
Correct.
You know? It's just history. Or when Alexander came down out of Macedonia and marched all the way to Afghanistan and took all that land.
Yeah.
Took it from people.
Yeah.
I guarantee you everybody's got to complain about the land getting stolen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just the time we're living in. You know what I mean? So do I hate the American expansion? I'm a firm believer in the Monroe Doctrine, dog. But this is our shit over here. Whatever the fuck goes on that part of the world, I don't give a fuck about. I don't give a fuck about Palestine, Taiwan, Israel, fucking Europe as a whole. I don't give a shit. If it doesn't happen on this hemisphere, I don't give a fuck. That's me. That's how I feel.
You're a nationalist.
You know what I mean? But I'm not going to. Exactly. I'm an American nationalist, and not just. I'm talking North America. I got more worries about what the fuck they're doing up there to Jonah in Canada than I care about what's going on in fucking Taiwan, bro. The neighbors to the north are turning into a fucking communist place. I don't give a shit what happens in Taiwan. Those chip factories should have never been in Taiwan to start with. If it wasn't for greedy American corporations dropping all the fucking cheap jobs for the cheap labor over there instead of paying fucking money to an American worker, now they put themselves in that fucking situation, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's where Sonny was schooling Mo about is like if it weren't for American greed, shipping all the fucking Nike shipping their, you say on the pair of Jordans for $200, you're telling me an American worker might want $20 an hour to build the Jordans and put them out, you still get $200 fucking dollars. But the white shirts in corporate America, they're the ones reaping all the benefits. The blue collar motherfuckers have been crushed. The middle class has been crushed, and that's where Sonny was schooling Mo about. And Mo's too blind to see it. But I hate that argument, dude. This is stolen land. It all was stolen at one point in time, bro. And I got no problem with black nationalists. Hey, like I told Strong Dad, I love what Strong Dad says is black. It's just when it comes with hate, that's when you lose me on that, man. Yeah. That's when you lose me. That's when you lose me.
I feel
for you to want your people to strive and survive. I got all blessings in a salute. But you want all your people to survive and then stomp a mud hole in me because of my skin color. that's when you lose me, man. Or when you want to stop the mud hole and somebody else goes to their skin color, that's when you lose me.
Absolutely.
But, I'm just clarifying why I said that's, in my super chat. That's a fucking, I hate that argument, dude. I hate that stolen land argument.
Yeah.
But that's it, man. Hotep and Bill, man. Great stream today, man. Thought provoking. Beyonce is a demon. I'm glad fucking Goldstein called that shit out for the Abramovich, because I was on your head about a year ago about Jay-Z being a demon, and you said he wasn't, and I threw that example, and you that's the thing I love about you, though, is you're one of them human beings who can separate the art from the artist, man. You know what I mean? But Hotep and Bill, man, Hotep to the chat. And one more thing, and I'm out, man. Jay Pylon dropped some knowledge on me a few months ago on a Canon after party about the red heifer, right? Which Goldstein was saying these people want to bring revelations about. Sure enough, I opened up Twitter the other day while I'm drinking my morning coffee, and there's a whole 10-minute segment on 60 Minutes about the red heifer. So,
shout out to Jay Pylon.
This a real Hotep brother.
Shout out to Jay Pylon.
Buckle up, Jay. Buckle up, man. I got my head on the swivel, dude, but I'm strapped, so going 10 toes down, ladies and gentlemen. Hotep and Bill, love you, bro. I'll give you a shout tomorrow, man.
All right. Hotep and Bill. Shout out to Rudy. Somebody said they got a history lesson for us. That's what they said. Shout out Renee Vogel and Fabian for the $10 super. Appreciate you.
This a real Hotep brother.
Appreciate you, Fabian and Renee on the super. My fucking text messages are slammed. Donovan Sharp just texted me. Shout out to Donovan Sharp. Make sure y'all subscribe to his channel.
Call from
Hotep Jack history lesson.
Jack, what up, yo? What you got for us, bro?
Not much. How you doing today, Hotep Jesus?
How's it going, man?
Oh, doing all right. It's a beautiful day in Arizona. So yeah, you guys are talking about a lot. So yeah, as far as what you're talking about, hold on a second. I see my phone here. Sorry, I had you on speaker. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So yeah, what you're talking about, the Cowboys and this and that, and the lady with the what the hell is she talking about, the rodeos and stuff?
Yeah.
So the origins of these words are they're very old. They go back to about a little after the Civil War. Back then,
what
we
words?
didn't call
What
them
words?
Cowboys.
Okay, and what's the other word? Rodeo?
Rodeo, we all know that.
What's that come from?
Okay, so, well, back then they called them ranchers and rangers.
Okay.
So
how did rodeo come about?
Yeah, the rodeo came about basically fucking, so Texas was like basically where all the beef came from. So when they had, when they do the sales and stuff, and they'd all get together with all the ranches and basically do like kind of, gladiatorial shit, show off their skills, as far as riding and roping and tackling cows and, all the stuff they do at rodeos, bull riding, this and that.
Yeah.
And so they called them rangers. They didn't call them cowboys back then. And the Mexicans had, and then you have to have ranchers, you had rangers, and in the Spanish you have the rancheros, which is like the English version of a ranger, and then, rancher, and then caballeros are like the Rangers, you know, like what we call cowboys. And then she was right about what she said about the black dudes and stuff, you know, like, so basically the black dudes would like take care of the cattle and stuff. That's why they called them cowboys. So you had your rangers, your ranchers, your rancheros, caballeros, and then the cowboys. And then somehow, you know, through the time, everybody just got referred to as like a cowboy. And that's basically the history of that terminology.
Dope. Thank you, man. Appreciate that, man. Little history lesson for y'all.
Oh, this a real Hotep brother.
Yeah, I mean, I bought my first horse before I bought my first car. My grandfather traded horses and stuff. And my family came to Arizona in 1870 in a wagon train from Kansas. The Reeves, the Jensens, the Rogers. I went over my cousin Roger, John Rogers, that was burned at the stake for translating the English Bible, and the church didn't like him doing that, so they burned him at the stake alive. Yeah, these are all Danish names and stuff. So, yeah, my grandfather traded horses. My father and his brother and his aunt, they would actually ride horses all the way to Sedona. They'd camp out overnight. So, like, those old Westerns that were filmed in Sedona with John Wayne and shit, you watch some of those old movies, chances are some of those horses were actually my grandfather's horses that he would rent to the movie sets.
Oh, wow. Damn. Deep. See, your family been a rebel. You've been a rebel.
Yeah, like I said, man, 1870 fucking wagon train from Kansas. We got here, northern Arizona. There was a cavalry fort, a fucking general store, bar, and then like a farrier, and which is a guy that takes care of horses, if you don't know that word. And yeah, there wasn't shit out here, bucking wild Indians everywhere. The only other settlement was Prescott, Arizona. And so, yeah, man, we've been here for a while. My mother is a Civil War historian. My dad taught history and geography for 40 years. God rest his soul. Yeah, I know, I've been a student of history. And for my better part, I'm an absolute fucking dumbass. I don't know shit. But, I love to study history and art and music. I'm a student of music, not just the music I like.
Word. I appreciate you, Jack.
All right, thank you, sir. Thank you for taking my call. Peace to the nation, and Hotep and build.
Hotep and build. My nigga Jack. Hoes and white women call in, man. Y'all are crazy. Y'all are absolutely insane in the chat. The utter disrespect in the chat. Where is it? Read my soul. You are out of pocket. He is out of pocket.
Call from
Wholesome White Woman.
Wholesome White Woman. What up, yo?
Oh, hello. Hello.
What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? How you feeling?
Very confused after the last caller. I got so sucked in, and all of the thoughts I had previously went out the window. They ran away. They were like, man, this guy needs his own show. Yeah, he has a story to tell. Okay, Beyonce, Queen Bee. First and foremost, she's a Houstonian. I don't know if very many people remember the fact that she's H-Town 713 up in this bitch. And another thing is that both of her parents were entrepreneurs. They were people within the Black community of Houston, well respected, of what you would call a good family. So for me, seeing Beyonce in 2024, girl, did you forget where you came from? Did you forget how much work it takes to actually do something? Did you forget watching your parents do the grind day in and day out, and you getting to oh no, that's what it is you got to reap the benefits of that. So fuck everybody else. Allow the policies to stay in place that'll keep everybody else below me, because who doesn't want to be the crab in a pot pulling everybody else down? It's like the reverse of that. Like, I'm up here, let me just kick y'all on the ladder. Just don't try to get up here.
That's fucked up.
It's a little, and that just might be me. That just might be me being weird and salty because Beyonce is Beyonce. But also with the way that Goldstein laid it out and the choices that she's made, I'm like, the Beyonce that was presented to the world way back when, that's not the same Beyonce that is standing here today. A lot of choices were made, character development, but into more of like the villain archetype. I don't know.
All right. Maybe.
Or maybe it's nothing. Maybe she's just making music and trying to get money.
I think she
It's
grifting.
proper, yeah.
At the very least, she grifting.
Private school money is due.
Big facts. I appreciate you, hosting White Woman.
Yes, sir. Have a good day. Hope to have a build.
Y'all watch too many Illuminati videos. That's what your problem is. Y'all niggas crazy. Millie, hopefully Millie's not in the stairwell today. If Black takes on F3, I think you gotta take back with the Queen. I don't know, but I don't know. I think you gotta take back with the Queen, or is it not right? Maybe that's not right. Chess lessons tonight. Kick.com/Hotep Jesus. Chess lessons tonight, 8 p.m. Make sure you're there. Who's our next caller? Oh yeah, Millie. So, Millie's running down the stairs right now. So whenever you want to find out the truth of something, try to find a naysayer. And I want to take a look at what the naysayer here said here. Millie.
To accept, press 1.
Amelia. What up, Millie?
Hey, I'm not in the stairwell this time.
Dope. Welcome. What's your take on this Beyonce stuff?
So I was calling in to talk a little bit about what Goldstein and Rudy, I wanted to try to tie in both of their points together. So just to piggyback off of what Goldstein's talking about, where shit is going to hit the fan, that's something that I've been saying to people within my circle. Now to tie that into what Rudy's talking about, I understand the angle that he's coming from. I'm sure some other people can understand. And in his defense, when he says things like, that's when people say, oh, this is stolen land, and that's a low IQ or Maoist talking point. What I believe the angle he's coming from is, we do know that there are different groups of people in this country who do wish to dissolve the form of government that we have, regardless of whether it's corrupt. We all know that there's corruption, but they do wish to see this form of government dissolved. There are groups actually working to install communism. Some of those groups are actually in cahoots with the CCP, and a common talking point that they'll make is, oh, this is stolen land. And it's almost as though they are implying that we have no right to feel any sense of pride in anything in this country. Like we're not allowed to have any, any patriotism whatsoever. I, as someone who has multiple jobs, one of them which involves working overseas, working in different countries, and getting the global perspective with the different people I talk to, a common thing that they'll say is, why don't I see Americans flying their flag? Why don't I see, when I travel, I don't see Americans, repping their country like you see with other people repping their country if they travel somewhere. And I tell them, I say, because we're not allowed to. we're not allowed to actually feel proud. Of course, there's corruption. Of course, there's a lot of blood on our hands. It's not possible for any world power to not have blood on its hands. It doesn't necessarily mean you condone it. But there are powers that be that don't want the people to feel proud and have any sense of unity. One of the points that Karl Marx makes is when you want to install communism or whatever new form of government, you want to create division, you want to create instability. And we're seeing a lot of that get hyped up in our country now more than ever. We are historically more polarized than we've ever been in the entire history of this nation. And a divided nation is a vulnerable nation. So many of the people who say things like, this is stolen land, the angle they're coming from is like, oh, shut up, don't feel proud, you're supposed to hate this country. I believe that's the angle that Rudy's coming from. I don't mean to put words in his mouth, but
yeah, well, that would be anti-nationalist, right? And when you're as Alex Jones calls them, globalist, the globalists don't want nationalism, right? So, like you said, you're ashamed, and that's part of the control design is to have you be ashamed of being American. My issue comes in when I ask, all right, what do you have to be proud of?
Are you asking me? Okay, I'm sorry. Okay.
Well, let's ask you. Let's ask you. What is there to be proud of as an American?
The sheer amount of innovation that's come from this country, and
like
the
what?
fact that technology,
all of it's killing us.
Okay, well, there's the thing about it is, in life there are no solutions, just trade-offs. There's a pro and a con to everything, and I don't think it's healthy, this black and white mindset that so many people, especially Americans, have adopted. And this is a common thing that, I will tell some of the students I have. Americans are huge black and white thinkers. We speak and think in hyperbole. We exaggerate the hell out of everything, and we make it seem like everything is awful here, like we're all suffering, but there's no way in God's green earth that you are so damn oppressed while you sit in the comfort of your home, not worrying about a bomb going off. Your electricity is not shutting off every hour of the day. You have water. You can DoorDash food at any given moment. So I'm sorry, I'm going on a rant right now, but my point is the world enjoys many of the things that were created in the U.S. That doesn't mean that we have to be ignorant to the terrible things that have come out of this country. But some of the biggest complainers of the U.S. are people who would never want to leave this country. They take comfort in living here, and they would never set foot in their old country. They would never dare move anywhere else.
But Millie, they can't.
That's not true. They absolutely can. Where there's a will, there's a way. If you really want to do something, you will put your mind to it, and you will do it. It's not true that they can't. That is a common excuse, because the past 2 years have been absolute hell in my life. And I said, I'm sick and tired of this lifestyle.
Millie.
And I put my mind to it, and I got the hell out of this country.
Millie, in Nigeria, the government said the currency you are currently using is obsolete. A few months later, the Nigerian government said, okay, we made a boo-boo. That currency is now legit. How are you supposed to live under those conditions? How is somebody supposed to live under the conditions? Like, we complain about our government, but damn, the reason why these other governments, and I said this before, I said, American luxury is at the cost of somebody else's life.
Of course.
Okay. So I said, in this stream, I said something like, I enjoy being American, but I don't love being an American. Like, I get to enjoy the fruits of conquest and colonialism, but I feel guilty for it. Or I don't feel actually, I can't say I feel guilty for it because I don't carry any guilt for somebody else's misdeeds. But I'm also not going to be like, aha, I'm an American. Look at your shitty country. Go back to your country. I'm not going to do that because I'm sitting there like, well, my country is the reason why their country is shitty in the first place. So how can I even be? So now this comes back to the root of all of this, right? So this morning I sent out the email that was inspired by Martian. Shout out to Hotep Lil Nigga. And he said, the God of the enlightened, the religion of sheep teaches them to find God outside of self. The religion of the enlightened are taught to find God within. Okay? So when I ask people, what is there to be proud of America, they always talk about what's outside of the human being and not what's inside of the human being. For example, you said, look at the great inventions. Well, these are things that were created outside of the being.
I would like to interject. I said innovation, and innovation is something that comes from within.
It comes from within, but it manifests outside of self, right? So it's manifested. It's here now. It's outside of yourself. So we don't adorn the morality behind the invention. We just adorn the invention.
So I would like to.
Do you see what I
did
there?
Some pushback. I do see what you did there.
So the innovation is the iPhone. The iPhone costs little African soldier children in mining toxic conditions, slave labor. So we adorn the trinket, we adorn the innovation, but not the morality that went into the making of it. And I said, what do we have to be proud of? If you would have said something like the black man who invented the machine that pulls water out of the air, that's a beautiful innovation because he's providing a free service. You see what I'm saying? But when you say American, is like, what innovation? What innovations are we to be proud of? The main innovation stifling Americans has to do with what comes from the state, and that's the Patent and Copyright Office. That's the lobbying that creates legislation in America, and the lobbying that says things like, we're going to outlaw hemp so that we can produce chemical plastic instead of natural plastic, and other homemade goods where, there's something like 100 things that people used to grow hemp for naturally. You can make clothes out of hemp. People had self-sustainability, and American industry innovation came in and outlawed hemp so they can give us chemical plastic, and now we got to go to the store to buy clothes when we could have grew our clothes in our backyard, literally. So what do we have to be proud of? How can we be proud of a country that sends the Pinkertons and its National Guard to slaughter people in Colorado? What is there to be proud of? When I think about America, I see more gore than glory.
Okay, so I'm going to push back on that a little.
Name something good that's come from America. One thing.
Okay, well, this is going to sound cliche, and let it sound cliche, okay? The American spirit. The American mindset.
Oh my fucking God. Millie, come on, the American spirit.
No, and I'm gonna explain what I'm getting at here. I'm gonna explain what I'm getting at when I say this. And people can turn it off. They can say I'm dumb, whatever, but I'll tell you this. Most of you are sitting on your ass. You don't have a passport. You've never been anywhere. You've probably been to Mexico or something like that, or Cancun, but you never set foot out the country. You never worked abroad. You barely dealt with people abroad. You just deal with foreigners in your own nation. Okay, so that's what I'm getting at here. I've worked abroad, and I'm going to continue to work abroad. I'll be leaving in a couple of months. And I'll say this, there's something about the American mindset, and other people who have come to the U.S. say the same thing. There's something about our drive, about the fact that maybe our lifestyle is full of grind, that we're constantly trying to find ways to do new things. We're constantly trying to find ways to get around stuff.
Millie, you're proud of the program.
I'm not saying I'm proud of the program.
That's
I'm not proud of our government.
America was created
I'm not talking about
for that
I'm not
purpose.
Talking about. No, I'm not talking about the
you know
program.
that grind you were talking about? That was part of the design. As a peripheral
No, I'm not,
nation, this
I'm
is
not
where
saying
people
the grind
will
is a
grind.
good thing. I'm not saying the grind is a good thing.
No,
I'm
you're
saying,
talking about the American spirit, you know, that spirit we got to just go out and get it.
No, what I'm saying is perhaps it's because we have to grind that is what inspires us to constantly try to figure out ways how to do things. For example, we're one of the only countries where we can't do direct bank-to-bank transfers. If I want to send money to my cousin in England and I have a bank in England, I can just send money to them. We still got to write checks. We don't, and yes, we can get into the whole corruption of banking, but what did we develop over here? We developed things like PayPal, Venmo, Cash App. We figured out ways to get around it. Yes, the IRS is trying to crack down on things like that because there's a lot of untaxed money being sent around on those apps. And when I try to explain that to people when I'm overseas, they're like, hey, how can I pay you for the pizza we ordered? Let me get your I think it's called BIC or something like that. I'm like, oh, yeah, my bank doesn't do that. I'll tell them we could do PayPal or something like that. So my point is we are always figuring out ways to get around things. Another thing is creative thinking is huge over here. And I have not seen anywhere where people think this creatively. No, the average American is not like this, but I personally feel that creative thinking is much bigger. I've been in a lot of situations in some of the countries that I've worked in where common sense problems that arose, people couldn't figure out how to solve them because they're so used to someone above figuring it out for them. But we figure shit out in this country, okay? And I'm not talking about our government. I'm not defending them. That's what I mean by the American spirit. There's something about the fact that we're so
You think
beaten.
America is innovative?
Yes, I do.
Hardly,
I do think
it's hardly
I do think that as a people we are more innovative and we figure shit out more than a lot, not everyone, but a lot of people.
Up until 1944, that was Germany. And again, we have to come right back to my premise. America is a peripheral nation of the Western Civ. Okay? So it is created for the purpose of innovation. At the core is usually what happens is you have your cultural norms, your religious norm. That's what's happening in the core of this civilization. So Western civilization expands, and when you're talking about expansionist territory, in expansionist territory, what happens is you usually have mixed populations of people, and because you have mixed populations of people, you also have to tend to have laxer rules. Like the rules are usually lax, right? As compared to the core part of the nation. And if you look, you can see that now in fucking England. You can't walk around with a spoon in your pocket. You'd be arrested. As a matter of fact, the police don't even have guns. It's so crazy over there, right? So in a peripheral nation, it's usually a lot looser because this nation just got conquered and now they're trying to develop it, and it may become more like the core over time. But at the end of the day, it's an expansionist nation. It's an extension of Western Civ for the purpose of innovation. So when you tell me you're proud of Americans for being innovative, I'm like, that was their purpose. That's why we were put here on this land, to innovate. That's part of the controlled design.
So are we supposed to just kill ourselves and be like, just be lazy pieces of shit who do nothing? You got to live life. And that's the point I'm making here. There's constant pushback. These are like killjoy people who say these things, like you can't be proud of anything. So what if something is used to defend a system that is corrupt? So what if something is used for evil? If something good comes out of it, you can't just take 5 minutes to be proud of it?
No, you have to frame it. You frame everything. You have to frame everything just for the health of your subconscious mind. When something comes in and you say, okay, some good came from this. Well, okay, well, did any bad come from this too? Well, there's a little bad. And it's like, all right, so can we be like truly proud of this? No, we can't really be. It's like playing a game and, you cheated or something like that. Or here's a better example. This is what I hate when you ever play video games with somebody and they don't tell you the buttons to press. They just let you be like, just out in the way. They don't tell you what block is or what dodge is. Just figure it out. Go look at the move list. That type of shit instead of like helping you out. It's like that type of shit. But coming back to my point, you know, because this is a peripheral nation, it's part of the expansion of Western civilization. It is designed for innovation, right? So the reverse of that. All right, for example, did you read the Ted Kaczynski paper?
No.
Oh, see, you got to read the Ted Kaczynski paper. I don't want to continue this conversation until you read it. I want you to read that and then call back at a future point in time and let's talk about that paper.
Okay, so I would just like to finish this point. I'm sorry, repeat the name of this paper one more time.
Yeah.
Can you say the name? Oh.
Hold on. I'm going to pull it up for you. He was a genius. Industrial society and its future.
Industrial society and its future.
And its future.
Okay. Well, I'll look that one up. The point I'm making here, though, is Americans focus too much on the negative. And in psychology, negativity outweighs positivity. Nowadays, if you were to survey majority of the nation, most people hate this country. Yet the stereotypical patriotic American, we're the best, still seems to, dominate, when in reality, most Americans hate this country. I think that both viewpoints are equally delusional because both viewpoints fail to look at the good and the bad. And I believe that's the angle that Rudy and others who don't appreciate that type of talk, they feel that.
I like writing exact. I like writing exact. I don't like vagary, right? So when I say I like things produced by Uncle Hotep, I like things produced by Hotep Goldstein, I go writing exact and I place the merit on that individual. Okay. I'm very specific about that with Rosa Parks. I'm very specific in placing the merit on Claudette Colvin, right? What gets weird is when people try to put it on groups of people, right? Especially when you're talking about something like an American and when we talk about American history. And it's just like, what the fuck is and here's the other part, right? If you had this conversation with one of these people that you're talking about, they will not sound like me. They'll sound like an idiot. But because I know so much shit, I can defend their standpoint easily, because I just know so much shit. So for me, because I know so much, it come to a point where I don't feel shit, right? I don't feel shit like a sense of pride in a nation. I don't feel shit in a sense of pride in being black. Like if a nigga was on in the Olympics and he is running against a white man, I'm not feeling shit when that nigga win. I'm not feeling shit when he lose. I don't give a fuck because that shit sounds stupid. Because who is you running for? Y'all still running on the Illuminati's chessboard. And it's whack when everybody wants to be an American as soon as the Olympics come around. And I'm like, that's the design, you dumbass. The Olympics is properly planned every 4 years to restore nationality within the nations that fall under the Illuminati's control. To tighten those bonds, to bring you back to the symbology and the rituals. When they carry that torch and they burning the torch, this is a ritual, right? So every 4 years you get your patriotism program updated. And then you see black and white people hold hands together and be proud to be an American. And as soon as the games turn off, everybody's like, look at this cracker, look at this nigga. So I don't feel shit when it comes to this whole like I do not agree at all that there's anything to be proud of to be an American. I am not proud to be an American. And that's because I know what America is. It is a corporate piece of paper created as an expansionist property for Western civilization that was brought about through imperialism and colonialism and killing people. And this process has not stopped. So you can take the term American or United States and you could sell that to somebody else, but you can't sell it to Hotep Jesus. I'm Hotep. I'm proud to be Hotep. I'm an American. I am not proud to be an American. I am happy that if I go to a foreign country, I could call the American embassy. But I know that the problems I face in that country is because of Western civilization. So Western civilization, Hegelian dialectic, caused the problem and provide a solution. So I go to the foreign country, shit gets hectic, I go to the embassy, but the problem's created by Western civilization. So I'm fighting from a problem from the source of my home. So I run back home for safety because I'm in countries that are colonized. If it's not colonized by France, it's colonized by Holland. If it's not colonized by Holland, it's colonized by Britain. If it's not colonized by Britain, it's colonized by Germany. If it's not colonized by Germany, it's colonized by Spain or Portugal. This is Western Civ. Then you have this thing called the United States, the little baby brother, the expansionist nation, and then they want to sell you this American spirit dream. You could buy it, but I'm not.
So I don't buy any of that. This is, for me, it's not political and it's strictly people. I'm not talking about politics here. So here's the perspective I'm coming from. So many Europeans love to use the United States as their scapegoat to deny the corruption that goes on in their countries and to deny the imperialism that they engage in and to deny their own racism. So many Europeans do that. You will never hear the end of it. British people, we live rent-free in their minds. You can't walk a single day throughout England without hearing America come out of somebody's mouth. As Americans, we don't think about the British people more than maybe 2-3 times out of the year, but every single day they're constantly talking about this, talking about us.
Correct.
So those are the points I'm making.
Correct.
And another thing, and again, this has nothing to do with the government. I'm strictly talking people. Some things that I'm proud of about this country, and I didn't realize we actually have access, okay? Access to good food. But a lot of people make garbage choices.
Time out. False premise, false premise. That's a false premise, Millie.
Okay, how so?
In comparison to most nations, we have some of the lowest food quality options.
I didn't say most nations. I'm talking about Europe right now.
I'm talking about Europe. I'm talking specifically about Europe, actually. When I say most nations, I'm talking about most nations from the parent company, Europe.
So during my time going to supermarkets,
certain foods that have different, like Coca-Cola formula in what's the name is not the same.
I don't buy Coca-Cola. I buy food. That's not food.
I know you're going to say that. I know that. But what I'm saying is the standards are lower across the board, right? Even when it comes to your livestock, even when it comes to your fruits and veggies, the standard is lowered across the board. So you can't say we have a higher quality. It's a false premise.
Yes, the FDA does allow a lot of garbage in our food, but I'm talking about actual food right now. I'm not talking about ultra-processed foods. Okay.
Natural foods come from foreign countries. We import that shit.
No, we have a lot of farms. There's a lot of people. I did my own backyard gardening.
What do we get from farms? Name something. Like I said, I like to do right and exact. So name something.
We get apples. You can get broccoli, cauliflower.
Get apples. You can definitely get apples. There used to be like 116 variations. Now it's like 9. Continue.
Broccoli, cauliflower.
We've almost completely decimated the apple. Here in America, we've almost completely decimated the variations of the apple. So this is why I say I know too much. So when you give me examples, I'm going to be able to pick each one apart. America's destroyed
but the
food.
Same thing is applicable in Europe as well.
Absolutely.
The point I'm making.
That's true.
The same thing is applicable. When I went to the supermarkets in Poland, in Slovakia, in Czech Republic, the selection of food is so terribly limited. If I want to get spinach, if I want to get lettuce, they hardly have any selections, and the portions are super tiny.
That's true.
They're very tiny. And when I asked them, I said, where can I get vegetables? They're like, we don't eat that shit. Everything they eat is fried pork, fried this, fried that, starch.
Yeah.
And they're also having obesity issues. And I was considered to be a health freak when I was over there.
Mm-hmm.
I could hardly find any circles of people who are actually interested.
You got to try Germany
in
or Austria. Germany, Austria, Switzerland, Sweden, all great farming, all great.
Oh yes,
agriculture.
I'm aware. So yes, it's not Europe as a whole, because Europe is similar to the U.S. where you have several different nation states, but a lot of people, and it's the same problem they do over there. They like to see the U.S. as one like monolith, when instead we have several different states that each have their own lifestyle. Same applies over there. But that's a common flaw that Americans will assume. They're like, oh, all of Europe is just super healthy and smart, and that's not the case.
Yeah.
So many of them are very unhealthy, and it started to make me feel proud, because during my time in Europe, I started to gain weight because I had terrible access to food. Their vending machines, if you need something, everything was full of cookies and chocolate. I'm like, okay, people are going to say pause. Like, are there nuts or something that I can eat that's not candy, And yes, it's a vending machine. I shouldn't be turning to that for food. I'm just talking about if you're waiting for your train or your bus or something like that, and it's several hours. My point is, we actually do have pretty decent access to food in many places. Our supermarket, the shelves are full of several vegetables.
But we got a lot of food deserts too, man.
There are food deserts, but food deserts are not the entire country. I feel like the average American actually does.
I mean,
have
when you have a food desert in your metropolis, in your most densely populated cities, that's a problem.
And that is a problem. That is a problem. But what about the food deserts in Europe that we like to ignore? And this very same Europeans trying to tear down the U.S., they love using it as a scapegoat to deny their own internal problems.
But again, right? You are arguing with the morons at that point, right? Because when you said the Europeans are talking about us, I feel you. I hate when them niggas be talking about us. But we got to understand that they are the core colony and we are the expansion colony. We have
and
to
not only that, they benefit.
Of course they do.
They're benefiting from this country.
What holds more value, the euro or the dollar?
Well, technically, right now, the euro is worth more, but the dollar, for sure.
You sure about that?
Technically, the euro is worth a little bit more than the dollar.
So how can you say that the dollar is not? How can you say the dollar is worth more if the euro is technically worth more than the dollar?
So worth more as in numbers, but in terms of on the global stage,
you're talking about global market cap. I wonder what the market cap is on the euro. What's the market cap on the euro? Do we even know what the fucking M1 money supply of the euro is? Where do you find that? You're talking about adoption and market cap. Let's see. Let's ask Google. Market cap. It's going to be really hard to do. It would have to be the dollar. Actually, dollar would definitely dominate market cap. I would agree with you on that. Because our money is floating over there as we speak. What does it say? I'm gonna have to dig for this. I'm not getting the answers I want. But so the reason why I asked that is, the reason why is it that we have a larger market cap than the euro, but the euro holds higher value? Why is that?
I don't know enough about that area. I don't know enough about
because that's Big Papa.
Like
because that's Big Papa.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's Big Papa. Because Big Papa takes a slightly better care of his currency than you do because you're an expansionist nation. That's
yes,
why.
And I agree there's a pro and a con to everything. But I'm just agreeing with some of the other people here that we can acknowledge our flaws, but we don't need to self-hate, because self-hate is cuck energy, and there's too much of that right now in the U.S.
I think that's the issue, right? Like when you say self-hate, just to clarify, when you say self-hate, you're saying Americans hating that they're American.
Yes, and that's the majority mindset right now in this country.
And that's the mindset I don't have. I'm not in that group, that cohort that identifies with being an American. I'm not in that cohort. I don't identify as an American. I understand.
I don't think you are.
No, I'm just saying that's why when we have this discussion, we're going to be on two completely different spectrums, because I understand that me as an American is based upon some straw man with capital letters. That's some legal derivation that just handles my paperwork so I can travel, across the maritime admiralty waters and all of that shit and land at the bank. And you know what I'm saying? That's what I understand. This emotional version of American. I don't take part in the emotional version of. You guys can do that, not me.
Okay, well, again, I was just saying, I think that's the angle that people are coming from when they get upset at people making statements like,
Millie,
oh, we did this, we did.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of Hotepistan.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
I am a nationalist of Hotepistan. All praise be to Hotepistan.
Hotep.
Hotep to my Hotepistanis. This is the only nation I recognize at an emotional and cultural level is anybody who's Hotep. If you ain't Hotep, then I don't know what the fuck you is.
Hotep.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
I want to end it by just talking about food really quick. We do have a lot of recipes that are from here, made here, that we should actually be really, really proud of. I've actually been thinking about creating my own, I don't even know what, like blog post or something about all the different types of foods that come from here that people made here. Because if you live in Europe, you're going to soon miss being in the U.S. because talk about food desert, that's a food desert. They don't know what spices are. Maybe that's why they conquered half the planet to get spices, because they don't know how to season their food. You're lucky if they put salt and pepper on their food. Okay, and salt and pepper is spicy to them. So that's all I'm just going to end it with. I'm proud of our cuisine and our cooking.
All right, no doubt. Thank you, Millie.
Okay, Hotep and Bill.
Hotep and Bill. I like Millie. She's cool. I like people I can argue with, because that means, they're thinking, functioning adults, and we can talk and jive. Some people I'm like, yeah, I can't argue with this person. He said we can forgive her ignorance if she's a pog. Come on, man. Yeah, I had to go full Hotep real quick. You know what I'm saying? I can't do it. Y'all can't do this whole American pride. That shit is hilarious to me, yo. I be laughing at people that be like, hey, I have pride in being American. That shit tickles me so much. Pause. I'm just like, what? You have pride in being an American? Really? What's that like? What is that even like? Like, how do you even experience being American, I think you need to grill some hot dogs, some ribs, and some beans and shit, fucking to feel American, and some fireworks, and you feel fucking American on July 4th. What is that? I don't get that shit. I don't get that shit. I don't know if I'll ever get it. I'm thankful. I appreciate being, designated an American citizen, without my choice. I appreciate that, but I can't jive with that. Somebody in the chat asked, will Hotepistan have dual citizenship? Well, it depends on, which colony of Hotepistan. The core colony of Hotepistan, no. Where our HQ is, where our castle, our main fort, our main compound, our holy land.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
There is no dual citizenship in our holy land. Absolutely not. But in our colonies, absolutely. In fact, our core colony is much like Wakanda, where there are no outsiders. You're not allowed in. There is no visitors to Hotepistan. Just that simple. You can visit one of our colonies. We have wonderful colonies all across the globe. We have a colony in Germany. We have a colony in Kenya. We even have colonies in Chile. Where would you like to go? We have colonies all across the globe. But as far as the core, oh, hell no. The women at the core of Hotepistan walk around draped in luxurious garments that cover their head and their bosom and their bottom and make them look holy. They are bathed in white. They glow when they walk down the street. Our streets are white. They are so clean. From the lime. This is a beautiful place. There is no garbage on the street like New York. There are no fiends on the street like New York in America. There are no tea people in Hotepistan. Our streets are pure. So when you tell me this concept of being proud of being an American, I go, ugh, that place stinks. Yeah, it stinks. It smells like blood. It smells like lust. It smells like sin. It smells like urine. It smells like swampland. It smells like garbage. It stinks. Everything about it stinks. It's a stinky place. I hate it. Now, Texas, however, Texas is a beautiful place. Idaho is a beautiful place. Parts of New Jersey are great. America, the United States, the Federation, the communist entity? The communist entity of the United States of America. It was once 13 separate colonies. At least they got that right and said they are separate colonies. These are individual nations. But once it became united, what people didn't realize, this was the beginning of centralization of government. This is communist at its core, at its beginning. When they said the United States of America, the minute they said United States of America, it said the United States of communism.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
I need y'all to do y'all histories. The federation, the compilation, the coordination of communists to create this country. And you call that shit the United States and you think that's something to be proud of? No, you be proud of your individual state. You be proud of North Carolina. You be proud of Oklahoma. You be proud of the 10th Amendment that allows us. You be proud of the 10th Amendment that allows us to govern ourselves and make our own rules. But then when you put us under the thumb of Congress and tell us what Congress can tell us what we can and cannot do, no, I don't love that country. No, I don't love the United States of America. I love the divided states of America.
Hotep, you're a genius.
I need y'all to hear me, and I need y'all to hear me now. I love the divided states of America. My individual freedom, I need the federal government to go fuck themselves. That's what I need. I'm paying tax to the state, and I'm paying tax for motherfuckers to send this shit over to Ukraine. For them to go kill people. You think I'm proud of the fact that I didn't have income tax before 1913, but as soon as 1913 come around, now we got some shit called income tax. You want to know when America was great? It was great before 1913.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
So when they say make America great again, what I'm talking about is removing income tax. Can a nigga breathe? Can I live? What's there to be proud about as an American? When you got to pay for them to slaughter other people. Then you say you proud of. I'm not proud of being American. Proud to be from New fucking Jersey. You see the differentiation there, and thank God for the 10th Amendment to say we govern ourselves how the fuck I want. So if I don't like the way they do shit in New Jersey, then I'm going to fucking Texas. That's the power of choice. That's the power of freedom. That's the shit I like. The United States of America. These states ain't never been united. You got some states want to marry gay people, the other one want to kill them. What United States? Motherfuckers talking about they proud of some shit. Proud to be an American. You don't even know what an American is. You don't even know what an American is. You don't know the history of this nation. If you knew the history of the nation, you know ain't nothing to be proud of. The American spirit. The American spirit. America's full of spirits, and everybody drunk off of them.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
They got American spirits in every fucking hood, turning people into zombies and demons and shit. American spirits. Yeah, we got American spirits. Spirits everywhere. Ghouls and goblins and ghosts and shit. American spirit. Ain't no fucking American spirit. The only time I seen an American spirit is when I went to a baseball game.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
A fucking American spirit. Ain't no fucking American spirit. Just a bunch of dead motherfuckers roaming around grumpy as hell because they got colonized.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
Some bullshit. Proud to be an American. Don't even know what an American is. Don't even know what the United States is. What's the SEC code for the United States of America? Anybody know the SEC code for the United States? She said American Spirit is a cigarette brand. I was about to go there too. What title is that? That establishes the United States. I can't even fucking remember. I know it start with a 5. That's all I remember. Huh? Fucking proud to be an American. Proud to be Hotep. That's the fuck I'm proud of. Shamar Jordan, $4.99. Appreciate you. The Senator Loki, 10 gifted memberships.
Oh, this a real Hotep.
Shout out to Senator Loki, single-handedly holding down the channel. Appreciate you. Hotep CPA, $27.99. Hotep and Bill. Granison Johnson gifted 5 Hotep Jesus memberships.
Oh, this a real Hotep brother.
Appreciate you. Who the fuck calling me? You don't see me up here ranting, you calling me and shit.
Call from.
You better have some fire too. Who this?
It's Steph.
Oh, Steph, what up, yo?
yo. I'm about to say, you still cooking, go ahead, man. You still cooking, go right ahead, bro.
Nah, I'm good. What's up, yo?
Oh, man. Listen, I enjoyed that discussion with you and Millie. I see.
That was phenomenal.
I see both sides of the argument, and I think it's just honestly, I think Hotep take was just an unbiased thing. It's just like, yeah, there's some good things that have happened here, and there's some real shitty things that have happened in America. And I'm not gonna dismiss all of the shitty things. They are really shitty. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
where you at? You outside? You hanging out the window?
Yeah, I just had out of work.
Oh, all right, because you got the windows blowing crazy, bro.
Oh yeah, listen, the wind down here in the north is always like right near the river. It's always fucking hit, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like I said, I'm not one of those people that. First of all, I'm definitely not going around. Like I said, I'm kind of.
Yo, I cannot understand you at all, yo. I can't understand a word he's saying. I couldn't get a single word in. It was all right, like barely in the beginning, and then it just. Strong Dad, call in, yo. Call in, man. He better not come in here talking about he pro-American and shit, neither. I know that's right. Hotep wind tunnel? Y'all stupid. Steph delivering pizzas on a scooter. Come on, man. Stall him out.
Call from
Strong Dad.
What up? What up? Hey, what was Steph calling from the inside of a tornado?
Bruh, listen, couldn't understand a word.
Yo, my nigga sounded like a robot.
Yeah.
Somebody check on him.
That shit crazy.
Hey, so I missed the stream. I had to do some important business stuff today, but I had to call in because I had to ask a question.
Okay.
Because I was talking to somebody who I will not name, but you know he asked me a question and I really just needed to ask you. Have you ever met Mofax in person, or
no?
Do you know if he's a actual black man or not?
No.
Okay. All right. Has anybody seen this nigga?
Has anybody seen Mofax? That's a good question.
The only reason the question is being asked by me is because the person who asked me made a really good point. That one dude who sings that one song, I bet you wonder where I've been. Right? I thought he was black for a long time, and he's older than me. He thought he was black forever, and then one day he found out he was white. So to me, that is actually not like a super pertinent thing, but I just wanted to ask because I was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure HJ met him before, but I'll ask him, but I'm not sure for sure. So I just wanted to know. Has anybody seen this nigga's face? Okay, all right.
Yeah, that's a negative, sir. That's a negative. I have not. No, I have not.
All right. So this nigga's AI. Cool. All right. That's really all I wanted to know. This nigga's a fucking robot. All right.
Oh Lord. All right, yo. Let me get Spotless in here.
Word. All right, y'all. Hotep and Bill.
Y'all ain't shit. I'm scared to even bring Mofax back on because I'm scared of what the chat gonna do. The chat gonna go insane. Can I get through this really fast? I'm gonna try and do this really fast. All right. So, derivation of the word black. Anytime you want information, go to the naysayers. So the guy says he saw an article on ABC News that made the claim that if you go back far enough in time, the word black used to mean white and has the same origins as the French blanc and English bleach. My searches suggest the closest match to his claim is the Proto-Indo-European.
Call from.
It says the Proto-Indo-European. Hold on, where am I? Proto-Indo-European bleg to burn, gleam, shine, flash, where gleam and flash could conceivably relate to lighter color. And given ancient Latin and Greek, related words apparently also had the same sense of something burnt. It could be inclined to think this is not common use. Burnt, scorched stuff is black. So that's going to be the other side of the argument. Spotless, what's good, Joe?
What's going on?
What's good?
How you feeling?
Good.
I'm good.
And his shit just dropped. Another one here says black also means pale or colorless. So there seems to be some vagary involving their language. This German spinoff, they call English.
My fault.
Hey, yo, what's good, Joe?
What's going on? Yeah, I'm outside, but you know, what I mean, hopefully I'm not in a tornado like Steph. You know,
Nah,
I think he got Thanos snapped in the middle of talking. But that was an interesting conversation. I enjoyed that discourse between you and Millie. And like, you know, it seemed like it was funny because, you know, what she seemed to me, well, I guess the question behind the question in the beginning when she was talking was kind of like, you know, like what happened to patriotism? Like what, you know, where did it go? What happened? Why do people, you know, hate this country? Some of them seem to hate this country so much. And, you know, what occurred to me, it kind of seemed like to call yourself American or to like really believe in that shit, it's like, it's to kind of know you got to like embarrassment of riches. So I think there's like a shame that comes with it. And something what you spoke about as well, with like the Hegelian dialectic with create the problem around the world, benefit from it, and all of these things. So it's like a subconscious thing. It's like, you know it. It's there.
Right.
Also, it's like I think in what it means to be American, I think, at least since maybe like the 60s or late 60s, is about this idea of irreverence to everything that whatever the last generation held near and dear. So like all of that, like when there's somebody in the current era, pictures, like if you say, hey, conjure up an image of, you know, the 1950s nuclear family, you see some old lady, you know, some nice lady vacuuming while she's holding a pie or some shit in her hand, and the husband come home, you know what I'm saying? Now that, so get for 20 years or so, whatever the reasons, many, there's like this, you cast that shit aside. Let's just cast it aside. And so I think, yeah, so part of the nature of like Americanism is bucking the ideals of past generations. And I think, yeah, like I said, I think people look back at that. And especially the thing about that is there's a wartime patriotism. And shit, you know, this is the 1940s and 1960s. It's like the World War II, Korea, Cold War. It's like we needed the power structure needed there to be like this one unifying, you know, ideal or belief or whatever. But that shit is kind of over. And so I think everybody's looking at it now, or the younger generation on both sides of the spectrum, or left or right or whatever, is kind of looking at that old time patriotism and shit as foolish. And like I think when people get caught up in that type of patriotism or whatever, I just had to run across the street, New York shit. People get caught up in that type of patriotism. It's kind of like would it just occurred to me right now? It reminded me of what people warned against in the first with the idea of the mRNA shot for that vaccine. It was like you only get one type of defense. You get that cover 3, and that's it. And then a whole bunch of shit could just slip in. And you know, when everybody is just the same shit happened after 9/11. You know what I mean? It's like everybody.
My thing is, I just want niggas to have a good core base for their patriotism, right? And I'm not gonna give it to them, but they always throw me. I know the reason why you should be pro-American. I'm not gonna tell people that because I'm gonna help them. I'm not helping that fucking cause. But that when I ask people what's there to be proud of, and they keep feeding me peripheral garbage, I'm just saying to myself, you don't know what it means to be American then. Right. And the last thing, there's nothing to be proud of. You don't really have nothing to be proud of. Like, you know what kills me? You know the greatest you know the greatest example of where this proud to be American shit falls apart is the people. All right, so first of all, we're going to talk about the media, extension of the mouthpiece of the ruling class, have decided that they don't like nationalism. It reduces their power. So they label people white Christian nationalists, and use these terms, right? Okay.
Yeah.
These people actually happen to be nationalists. Whether right or wrong, good or bad, they actually happen to be nationalists. All right. Now, let's look at how these nationalists operate. When black folks don't vote the right way, Or if something happens to black folks, they go, well, we're all American. We're all American. But as soon as a black man puts his hand on a white man, all of a sudden race has now entered the picture and they become identitarians. Now they're identifying based upon race. Now they're practicing diversity, equity, and inclusion. And these are the most patriotic among us. Who it's American when it benefits them, but it's race when it does not. So when somebody not of that red-white group tells me that they are proud to be an American, I'm like, do you know who you're aligned with? You're aligned with hypocrites. You're aligned with uneducated hypocrites.
They don't see it. It's that mRNA mindset.
So it is.
That's what it is.
So
That
unless you fix,
yeah.
unless you fix the core group of nationalists and see the error in their ways, you can't really have a real American revolution or nationalism behind it. Because the people who are supposed to believe in it most are people with direct blood lineage to George Washington and all these folks. Because some of them, you heard Jack Reeves. He was like, I called in, my family moved up here after the Civil War.
Right.
They got direct bloodline lineage to this shit. So the people that's got that most, if they not on board with recognizing, Americanism at all times, or when you see the people trending shit, you go, yo, stop dividing us based upon race. You don't see that from the nationalists either.
Right.
And you see all the biggest, and you see the biggest media outlets of these people who will split us by race, and still in their media, their biggest media outlets, I'm afraid of black pilots and all this shit.
Yeah.
They're supposed to be most American. This is our patriot class. And the patriot class ain't really patriots. So what do you got left?
Right. I don't know what's left. It's a commercial.
It's a commercial, facts. That's a great way to put it.
And just to because I'm gonna go now, like I just appreciated that thing, that last part. Well, that one part where it was like I think Millie was kind of saying, well, why these people point these, like, why point this out? Like, to what end? Like, what's the logical conclusion of it? And you said you have to frame it, and like that. I don't know. The image popped in my head. It's like, yo, if you looking in the mirror to get some crust out your eye or some shit off, or some toilet paper off your heel, it's not condemning the entire person. It's just being honest about and being. And you said right and exact right after that, I think.
Yeah.
And like, you got to. It's about just taking an honest, sober look at what the fuck is going on. They don't mean jump off a roof. It just means take the crust out your eye.
Right.
And just keep it moving forward. Like, you got a coast on your lip, bro. Don't act like you don't.
Right.
Like, just deal with the shit.
Yeah.
And let's just go. Let's just keep it moving. Because we all got to live at some point. And whatever the commercial is, there's a real thing going on. But that's it. You know what I mean? It was a dope conversation. I really enjoyed that. Yeah. So y'all Hotep and Bill.
All right,
everybody be easy on the Flowpex. Easy.
Yes, sir. Hotep and Bill. On that Flowpex, manavoida.com. On that Flowpex. I'm closing 4 lines. I don't feel like talking no more. We got a new workout. New workout alert. Can't wait to do this one. This one's going to be up. Hold on. Go to manavoida.com. Hit blog. Go to the menu, hit blog. We got a high intensity interval training, Havoc. Hit Havoc. Cassius can't work out of the day. Now, this one's interesting. What he says is you will be performing each exercise for 30-second intervals to complete a 3-minute round. I'm going to repeat that again. You're about to get your ass kicked like it's a heavyweight fight. Right? Like, how long is a round in boxing? 3 minutes, right? So this is what he wants you to do every 30 seconds. You're going to go from battle ropes to farmer walks, to medicine ball slams, to kettlebell swings, to speed feet, to plyo push-ups. And you get 1 minute rest in between. He said beginner starts at 3 rounds. Intermediate 5 rounds. Elite 8 rounds, 1 minute rest. This is a wild ass workout. Go to menoforder.com for your workout of the day. Just hit the blog, go to fitness. You'll see them all right there. Shout out to Kamar Daniel, killing it over on the tech side. Kamar dropped an article this week. I'm sorry, hold on. Easy guide to setting up an air gap computer. A lot of people were asking me about how to set up an air gap computer. Go to menoforder.com. Basically, air gap computer is a computer that is not connected to the internet. And many people use it to store things, secure your data, your crypto, your funds, whatever it may be. You know, you want to keep it on something that can't be hacked, because once it's connected to the internet, it can be hacked, right? So this is the purpose of an air gap computer, security, cybersecurity purposes. So there's a how-to guide there on menoforder.com. Shout out to Kamar Daniel on that as well. But yeah, this workout right here, I can't wait to do this workout. I'm trying to figure out. Yeah, I would need, because we got the battle ropes, got the dumbbells, the medicine ball got, the kettlebell, that's over in the cut. Hey, baby. How you doing, baby? You good? Give me a kiss. Give me a kiss, baby. Oh, my baby. Oh, I love you. So shout out to Kamar Daniel and Cassius Cam. You know, that's what I love about this this website, menoforder.com, is we got real workouts by real people, you know, and Strong Dad dropped a really good one last week. I think I told y'all about this. Beyond the Gym, a guide to lifelong men's fitness. And this is basically like, okay, so you reach some of your fitness goals. What now? Right? Like, how do you maintain, sustain your gains and, you know, all of that? So make sure you go check that out. This is lengthy too. This is not no, you know, slap together situation here. This is, you know, thought through and some heavy information here. I had to edit it, so I read the whole thing, and I got to tell you, I really enjoy, like, sometimes when when you're an editor, it sucks when you got to edit shit that you don't really care about. But the good thing about editing Strong Dad shit is like, I actually care about this material, and he does a really good job, and he's very insightful. So I'm getting like this great education from him, and it's carrying over into my gains. And he's also got, I don't know if you guys know it, but in here I linked to, right here, if you click on Strong Dad at the end of that article, if you click on Strong Dad right here, it'll take you to his products. And you can get the bundle, Hotep Health and Strong Dad Protocol. So that's the bundle right there. And the Strong Dad Protocol 24-week training program, broken into 2 12-week blocks. All right, that's it right there. Strong Dad Protocol. So yeah, combine that with some of the other stuff. Combine that. Obviously, you want to combine that with Apex. Ideally, you got flow in there. So you got flow and Apex, that's Flowpex. It's your testosterone sport. This is your muscle gains. This is your muscle recovery. This is all brain work. This is all nootropics. Flow is all brain work, all nootropics. Focus, memory, concentration, mood. Both of them are going to enhance your mood. Really good stuff to have inside your body. Pause. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in. I had a lot of fun with our guests, our callers. We hit our goal today. Thank you very much. Our goal today was $53, and we were able to exceed that. Shout out to the chat for participating and help us reach our goal. You guys are truly amazing. I'll be back tonight, kick.com/Hotep Jesus for chest training, 8 p.m., kick.com/Hotep Jesus. You can go to Kick, just type in Hotep Jesus, subscribe to the channel over there. And we gets it in. It's serious chest training. This ain't no bullshit training. This is some serious chest training. You have to actually sit down and use your brain, okay, for 2 hours straight. I know some of y'all got ADD, inability to concentrate, and your mind likes to wander. So this is a great exercise to center your mind and, take your mind off things and just sit down and focus on something and work on your visualization, which is going to help you with your manifestations, et cetera, et cetera. If you're not here for that, I will see you tomorrow for another episode of the Grift Report, 2 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm out of here. Be well. Stay merry. Tell somebody, your family, you love them. And as always, as I enjoy this planting I'm about to enjoy, Hotep and Bill.
Envision a sanctuary where community and sustainability are the cornerstones of living. In this haven, every family is able to grow their own food, children flourish through homeschooling tailored to unlock their full potential, and education extends beyond textbooks, instilling self-worth and a deep understanding of the world around them. Here, goodwill isn't just an ideal, it's the essence of daily life, where respect for law and order harmonizes with the community's resourcefulness. This place isn't just a dream, it's a call to action for everyone who believes in a better, more connected way of living. Join us in building a future where each individual's contributions create a tapestry of enduring harmony and prosperity. Join us in Hotepistan,